And every time it happened, the lady was like, yes, we're moving. And then it's a, fuck.
Like, could someone move this fucking toilet so I can order a beer already?
If I had a nickel for every time I was still half drunk, like naked or in just my underwear, standing in front of the fridge at 4 a.m., lit up by the light of just the fridge, just... Welcome back, everybody. Happy Dapper Day to all the fantastic Dapper Dad listeners out there.
You beautiful fucker.
It is what it is, man. We got to have a good opening to the fucking show. Welcome back, everybody.
It's always welcome back.
Because they're coming back. Because they're coming back to visit us again. It's like, to me, I like to think people listen to the show and it's like a nice friend they're visiting every week.
And every new listener is like, well, I'm not allowed here, so I'll see my way
I've
out.
been alienating a whole audience of new listeners because they hop in on episode 5 and I'm like, welcome back, everybody.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to touch on real quick that I remembered. We need some more beautiful reviews on iTunes. That helps us.
Do.
I did a bunch of research that helps us grow and more people find the podcast, which will keep us going and not give up.
Yep.
So if you like it, I know a few of you people have
left just
taken the time.
Beautiful reviews.
Yeah, all the
there.
reviews are great. I think we're at 5, so we need to be at 50. So I know it's a pain in the ass, but go through the podcast app. You have to search Dapper Dads and then click on reviews, and then it's a nightmare, but do it for us. It helps us out. And then, you know, all the typical shit, the dapperdads.com, dapperdadspodcast@gmail.com, and the good old phone number, which we'll be getting to in a bit, 402-7-DAPPER. That's 402-732-7737. Give us anything and everything. We've got some things to touch on in a bit.
We've got
some juicy solutions.
We've got some fantastic stuff. Drama and I were in the big city last weekend, so if you listen to the previous episode where we talked about going to Chicago, this is where you get to hear the whole fantastic saga of
We've got some of that, and we'll get into it in a minute.
Oh, it's going to be a juicy episode.
It was quite an endeavor. It was quite a trip, and it gets very interesting. And after it, we both left kind of feeling...
Let's put it this way. I have been in situations with grown men where I've been scared before. Like, I've been in situations with people where it's like, wow, this person is genuinely terrifying me. I was terrified you were going to just crash into the next car coming into us in the passing lane and just end both of our lives and end the show forever where we'd have to die legends.
Yeah.
I feel like every episode we talk about like getting killed in the week beforehand, and we're just like, we're gonna die legends.
Yeah, legends for 15 people.
Yeah, we got 5 iTunes reviews.
Come to our funeral.
All 15
leave us
of
iTunes
you.
reviews, or we're gonna die. How about that?
If we don't get 50 reviews, Drama's gonna drive us both head first into the first 18 wheeler, and we're gonna make sure we get under all 18 of those wheels.
I kind of regret not doing it. Anyway, so
life's
life,
already dark.
Life got dark.
Life got insanely dark.
Life got so dark. Slim just threw the microphone. It's
holy
insane.
Jumping George.
Strong start. That's episode 12, folks. Thanks.
See you later.
Yeah, life got so dark that I was very optimistic about, Sunday through up till today. And today I was feeling extra bright. I was driving around and I was like, it's going to be a good day. Weather was nice. Had the music up. I was feeling genuinely good. I think I'm over my sickness.
You sound much better.
I feel much better.
You got color back in your face.
Yeah, I got some sleep. I got, as low as it goes on Saturday. So everything was up. So I'm feeling real good. Go home. I'm going to make myself a nice meatball sub. I had some for dinner last night.
Always
There
good.
are some fantastic frozen meatballs. I wish I had the brand because they could sponsor us. They're fucking tasty. It's a bag of 50. I could eat 3 bags right now.
If your company makes bags of 50 meatballs, get in contact at 402-732-7737. We would love to talk about your product.
Opportunity. But they're good. So, I got a nice little bun. Meatballs, marinara, cheese.
Is this where we're at on the show? We're describing sandwiches that we eat.
Yeah, because you got to get the whole thing because it gets good.
It does get good.
So they were tasty. I was going to heat one up for lunch.
Yeah.
So I'm preparing to do that. Have some nice glass Tupperware with some very sealable lids. And I'm standing there.
Can we get a Tupperware sponsorship?
Fuck Tupperware.
Fuck Tupperware.
Fuck it, I will heat it up in the Tupperware. Don't tell me shit, Mom.
Tupperware.
I'll do whatever I want. I'm a grown man.
Tupperware? More like Tupperware. Where the fuck is the lid to go with this? I got sauce I gotta put away.
Now we're definitely canceled.
I mean, we can still get the meatball sponsor, but just not Tupperware.
Tupperware is run by Apple. We've burnt bridges there. We can't go back.
Fuck.
So I'm trying to open it, and I'm like, wow, this lid is really stuck on. So I gave it a hefty pull and proceeded to throw marinara everywhere.
All over your nice new kitchen.
All over my nice new kitchen, all over my arm, my right arm, my face, my shirt.
Was it boiling hot marinara or
No,
was
it
this
was
cold?
cold
Oh, that's
marinara.
even worse because that just feels like slime
God, I
all
wish it was
over
so
you.
hot that it would have killed me. It was everywhere to the point where you just stand there and you're like, is this even real life?
Where it's like something so fucked up happens when you're trying to do something so menial that it's like I'll just off myself
It was
now.
unbelievable. I took a picture. I'm covered in marinara. It was one of my favorite shirts. So I'm like, it's so bad when you've created such a mess that you're like, where do I even begin? Do I burn the house down and just call it a loss?
I have never thought about burning the house down over sauce. I've been lost in the sauce.
Yeah,
but I have
and
never.
ironically, literally in the last episode, I say I'm constantly covered in sauce, and then I
Constantly.
shout out marinara, and look at what has happened. You guys are ruining my real life.
Life is full circle, man. The show just is gonna keep
Fuck that
infecting
circle.
everything
I'll
you do.
fuck that circle.
It's a big circle. I don't know if your dick will fit in it.
I can just put my whole body in it. It's still a fuck to me. Anyway,
It's still
so
a fuck
I'm-
to me. Episode 12.
I am dripping marinara. I go take my shirt off. It's on my undershirt. So then I'm
How
like,
did you get it under your clothes?
because I was wearing a polo, so the top was exposed.
Of course.
Undershirt, and it was just one little dot. So I'm like, now I got to put on a new shirt and an undershirt. All my undershirts are dirty, of course. So I have to go put on a dirty undershirt. Got to clean up all this marinara.
That also had other sauce on it from you spilling sauce all over yourself.
Yeah. And so I clean up this marinara. I finally get around to making the sandwich. I'm still going to eat the fucker.
Well, of course, but now you're just going to
Heat
eat it
all
angrily.
up. I make the sandwich and I put it in the toaster oven, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to the laundry room to try to clean up some of my clothes and figure out what the fuck I'm going to do. I come back and the toaster oven is smoking because the sandwich is on fire. And I don't know what I've done to deserve this.
God, I know exactly what we did, and it's what we did at the surf bar.
I know, but it's... I don't think it warrants this. I paid enough, and we'll get into it.
The skull is cursed.
So I get the smoke all out of there. I finally eat the fucking sandwich. The middle tastes like fire because it's burnt.
It was still on fire while you were eating.
I'm like, kill me, please. And then I go to fill up my container of water. I'm done with this whole fiasco. I'm parched. I need some water. And the fucking water is empty. And literally, in my head, I was like, this is why people kill people. This whole series of like a half an hour,
People
is why
wake
people
up.
have to die.
Because, you know, they always say when you watch like the 60 Minutes about killers and stuff like that, they're like, nobody just wakes up in the morning and decides to kill people.
They try to make a meatball sub, and then everyone has to die.
Now, the only thing I can think is that, like, you know, okay, so on The Simpsons, there was the Flaming Moe episode, obviously, where Homer figured out you could make a better drink by lighting it on fire.
Homer made lean.
Yeah.
No one gives that credit.
No, it was
Homer,
lean.
Go watch the Flaming Moe's episode.
It's
Homer
purple.
makes lean.
It's
He takes crusty cough syrup,
and he pours it
pours
into
it
his.
up. They light it up, and he's just out of his mind. Homer invented lean.
The
I'm
only
sick
thing
of
missing was some Jolly Ranchers in the bottom.
Yeah.
But did he double
Which
cup
when
it?
I drank lean, I didn't put Jolly Ranchers in it.
But did he double cup it?
I don't know.
Then he
He
didn't.
didn't have the aesthetic.
Didn't have that aesthetic, which I screamed in front of a car in Chicago, apparently, while we were in a crosswalk.
We screamed a lot of things.
We screamed quite a few things in Chicago.
So yeah, that was my day to day.
I just
that,
like
that
to-
was my day to day.
I like
My day to day is not flaming meatball subs while I'm covered in sauce. What if that was what I dealt with every day?
I'd be
I'm
like,
yeah, I'm busy from 12 to 12:30. I have to burn a meatball sub after dousing myself in sauce. It is my gift to the gods.
I wouldn't be surprised about why you chain smoke on the weekends then if that's what
I don't.
happens.
There's nothing to take care of what I've been through today. And like I said, I was like, God, it's such a good day. Looking forward to recording
Right,
later.
yeah.
It's gonna be nice. And this is why you don't let life get light. Cause just accept the darkness and live in it. Because I don't need the peaks and valleys. Okay.
I would like to think that Drum and I would love to do live shows someday. That's somewhere where we'd like to get with the shows, is doing live shows. I'd like to think that in the after party for these shows, we could serve flaming dramas, which are just meatball subs that are on fire in the very
Yeah,
middle.
I'm sure every venue will be down with that. And the only way we can make that a reality is for you and all of your friends to leave us fucking 5-star reviews.
Would
Get
you
to it.
like to taste a flaming drama?
Yeah.
Give us 5 stars.
Give us 5 stars and make this a reality.
And when you give the 5-star rating, put "I want a flaming drama," which is just
Yeah.
actually, if you send us a picture of you with a flaming drama. It's got to be a meatball sub that's
No,
on
I
fire.
don't. I don't want to condone.
I'm condoning it.
No.
Fine.
Allegedly.
Slim will allegedly
Yeah, there
condone
we go.
this.
We're in the clear.
Allegedly. I can't condone it, but if you were to send the dads a picture of you not eating a flaming drama, I'd just like to see a picture of it on a plate with you covered in sauce. We'll send you something cool. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll send
I don't know what.
We'll send you some Dapper Dad swag if you.
We'll send you towels because I needed some.
Yeah, we'll send you towels to clean your dirty, saucy ass up after you're making a flaming drama.
So yeah, let's touch on our wonderful Chicago trip.
Well, let me just say that this was
Warning.
warning. Not even a warning. This
Trigger
was
warning.
This was the first time Drama and I have taken an out of the city trip. We've chilled a lot in our hometown. We've just hung out a lot. We've
If
never
you're from Rockford, you know we don't get out of the city.
we really don't.
Rockford people
No, and so
live and die.
this was like our first like expedition together into the big city, and
A long 12 hours.
I will preface it by calling it the day a 9.5 out of 10 because the activities we did and the things we did were so much fun. But
see Slim
One.
with the burps. I've given up.
all right, we got
I
one.
can't compare.
If we get to 5, we'll send you a flaming drama.
Yeah, in the mail.
Just a
I don't
fucking.
know how it kept burning for so long, but
I don't know
liked
how
it.
it stayed in the fire and didn't burn through the package and blow up the mail truck. But here's your flaming sand. Actually, we have to put
Allegedly.
instructions on it for the UPS guy to light it on fire when he delivers it.
Could you sign for this?
Can you sign for this? Whoosh!
I just picture us tossing it in the mailbox, and then the mailbox is just flaming.
Just like shaking and poof, and sauce
God.
goes everywhere, all over the whole neighborhood.
But yeah, Chicago. So we took the train in.
Which wasn't a bad ride in.
Hold on, hold your fucking goddamn horses. I had to pee so fucking.
Oh my
bad.
God,
Top five. I drank a big beer on the train. Might have been my mistake.
Huge 40.
It wasn't a 40. It was like 22. It was
a big beer.
Fucking Rogue hazelnut brown ale with the guy on it. Shout out to Rogue. That beer is fucking fantastic. I specifically was like, I want a nice, good beer for the train. Drank the whole thing. It was a nice train ride, and then
It wasn't bad.
less.
Except like you just
20 to 30 minutes. I was like, I gotta pee.
you were like a rabid animal stuck in a cage
Stuck
for the
on a
last
train.
Yeah, like literally.
like a rabbit animal stuck on a train.
And you insisted on sitting in and the worst part about this is they have a bathroom on the train, and I kept saying, Drama, it's like 30 feet in front of you. Just get up and go take a piss, and you're like, I'll just hold it.
Sometimes I like to just put myself through the struggle.
It's like
and I don't like getting up in
it's
front
like-
of people. The train's crowded, and it's gonna move, and I'm gonna be pissing and fall and have piss all over myself. Did you think all this through? Because I did.
Well, I mean, how is that any different from what you're usually doing?
Because we were trying to have a good day. When I'm trying to have a bad day, I piss all over myself. Anyway, so the train ride was nice up until that. I got
to
in
the
there,
station,
got it. Oh, that
ran
fucking
like
long
Usain
series,
Bolt to the bathroom.
long series of urinals, and I was just in there like, oh, and it was just pissed for.
But I mean, that's the great
45
thing
minutes.
about the city is you can just make guttural animal noises at urinals and nobody thinks twice
normal.
about it. I fucking love Chicago.
It was nice to finally pee. Fuck.
What is that, 2 now?
7.
I mean, if we're counting the ones in the pre-show, absolutely. So our first stop was at Leaders. Leaders Clothing.
LDRS. What is it's Leaders something.
It's Leaders, but it's like LDRS.
Yeah, they have a number after it too. It's like 1537.
It's LDRS 1354. Check out www.leaders1354.com. Fantastic
cool
clothing store.
Clothing store. They have their own brand. They carry like 10 Deep and Bape and
Any place that carries Bape is good in my book. We fucking love you, Bape.
yeah, Bape sponsor us.
Man,
we
if-
don't have $300 for a hoodie. I hope you understand.
If we get sponsored by Bape, I will wear Bape everywhere. I will wear Bape to
Oh,
work.
hell yeah.
I will wear Bape to bed. I will wear Bape everywhere.
yeah, we will be brand whores for you. Bape.
Specifically, just give me the Bape because if you give it to Drama, he's just gonna get sauce all over it.
All right, I'm fucking done. Episode 12. I hope you're fucking happy. Anyway, yeah, shout out to the people from Leaders. They were very nice.
No, super nice guys. And then after that, we went to Gus's
Gus's
world famous fried chicken.
See, the thing about me is I love some good fried chicken tenders. I'm not a big fan of having to work for my food. So
I mean, I
want
don't
the
like
tenders.
working around the bones is just a bunch of
it's
bullshit.
crazy. You
Give me
don't
just
get enough
pure
meat.
chicken. Yeah.
So, I do the tenders. They had some delicious chicken. It was crazy hot and sprayed hot grease out.
Watching you eat it was
I wanted
masterful.
it so bad. And lemonade, chicken and lemonade. If I'm in Chicago, Really, if I'm anywhere.
I would say
but
even if you're not in
Chicago,
Chicago, chicken and lemonade
chicken
is the way
lemonade
to go.
is the way to my heart. Strawberry lemonade, I'll fucking kiss you on your lips.
You can't even have strawberry or
Send
raspberry
in your favorite
lemonade.
strawberry lemonade. I've got a top 3. I'm not going to get into it
We
right
will
now.
rate it.
Send me where you're going to get strawberry lemonade, or send me literal strawberry lemonade. Find me in public and hand me a strawberry lemonade.
Yes.
God, strawberry.
Strawberry lemonade and raspberry lemonade do not even make it through the night in my house. I go grocery shopping, pick up a bottle of it.
I hate a lot of the prepackaged strawberry lemonade. It has that like different taste.
I like the what is the one brand? It's like Simply or whatever.
Yeah,
It's like the Simply
Simply
juice. They make a
lemonade.
fantastic
I've had
lemonade.
it. It still has. I don't know.
See,
I'm
I like
crazy
my
about
lemonade
it.
to have a bit of a bite to it, because to me, if you're getting fried chicken and lemonade, I want
Yeah,
that tartness with the savoriness.
I like the tartness. I like when there's like literal like strawberry like
Just chunks in it.
chunks, or the mix that a lot of places have. Anyway, so Gus's was good. I had recently been to the Roost in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
That was better chicken. It was spicy. I got a spicy sandwich on a biscuit with a lemonade.
Ooh, chicken biscuits.
That
are,
shit was fire. So go to the Roost. Gus's, shout out to you. You were good, but the Roost has my heart right now in Chicago. I'm open to competition. Let me know what we're working with. I'll try every chicken in that fucking city.
I gotta look at the restaurant I went to, because it's a long ass name for what we went
it
to.
was quesadilla something. Then after that, we proceeded to walk. We stopped at Richard's Bar. Shout out Richard's. I love you.
One of the only bars left in the world where you can smoke and drink at the same time.
Yep.
My first impression of Richard's was that it was so inherently Chicago that it hurt. The wood paneling on the walls, pictures of like gangsters.
Yeah,
and, like,
it's like an old mob bar, which
it's
is
really
like
fantastic.
the myth of why they can still smoke cigarettes.
Right.
There's
yeah.
so many signs that say no smoking while you're smoking a cigarette.
I know it, and that I think my favorite thing about the bar experience was a sign right next to the cooler, all the way on the right. It says "hard boiled," and then in quotes "egg."
Eggs. Yeah.
75 cents. And we didn't see any. The only eggs we saw were in like a carton in the cooler. I didn't see like
I didn't believe that
like
those
a
were the
Moe's.
ones.
No, like I need like a Moe's bar jar of like pickled eggs that I can pick
that's what I
from.
feel like they actually are, but we did not. Get
He just
into
had
the
it like
eggs.
hidden under the counter so nobody like smashes the jar of eggs.
Yeah, it was.
I wasn't willing to gamble. I was not.
Yeah, that old man and his old testicles.
Which has
Which
a
are the
groove-
eggs.
Which we deduced that they had to be his eggs, and that's why there was 2 little grooves on top of the bar where you can get up on the stool and just knock them on the counter.
I like
for
to
you.
think he just has a stool for his testicles, but we never know. Then after that, one of my favorite moments in Chicago, we were walking to a place I don't want to shout out because I feel like we both didn't enjoy it very much, and I don't want to give them any cred.
Yeah.
But we were walking. It was raining throughout the day. We need to paint this picture.
Okay, when we got there, it wasn't really raining. It
Just
had
like a
rained.
sprinkle.
It was a super crazy storm when I was driving to your house.
Yeah, when you came to my house, it was raining. We seen the forecast was gonna be rain.
Oh, right, but
up until this part I'm about to say,
it was nightmarish.
it was like just sprinkling and would come down a little bit more.
What would you say,
It
like
was
2,
on and off.
2, 3 in the afternoon? Maybe it was just on and off.
Yeah, I think it was even a little bit later than that.
Like
'cause that
4?
was- yeah, 4 or 5. There was a good time, but we'll get to that. So it was raining. Everything was very wet, and we're walking down the street. Oh, it's gonna be hard for me to tell because I love it so much. Oh, but
There's a really good reason why this is so funny at the
Yeah.
end. of this.
and it's never gonna work because you guys can't witness what I saw.
No.
But we're both walking next to each other, skipping and holding hands as we do. And I stepped into a hole on the sidewalk and kind of wiggled, and it caught me by surprise. And then I turned to my right, and you were motioning at a storefront that was it had like some nice spooky artwork, but I couldn't tell what it even was.
It was like a haunted house they were setting up at like a
Yeah.
storefront. So like we're on the left-hand side of the street. On the right-hand side of the street, it had like, like murals in the window and like boards up. And I was like,
Yeah.
hey, that looks pretty cool.
You said that looks promising.
And as I'm pointing at this haunted house, I slip on a grate on the sidewalk that was just slick from water. The best part about falling was that I did not eat shit like the other time you saw me fall fantastically, which we can get into. What I did was I was carrying a book bag around all day because, we obviously needed something to carry things in.
Oh, yeah.
And so I have the book bag and I have some breakable things in there. And my thought always when I have a book bag is fall forward, don't fall back. And because I'm like, I don't want to break this shit. I did this miraculous move where I slipped on the pavement. My right leg completely went out and like did like a kick swing around. As I went down, I got down. It was basically like I was proposing to drama on the streets of Chicago.
Which is what you said immediately after we realized you were okay. You were like,
if I remember correctly, what I did was I went down and I was like, oh, because it fucking hurt. My fucking pants got soaked up to the knee. It was apparently like a secret aqueduct to an underground city of mole people underneath Chicago I almost fell into. And I slipped in this puddle, scraped my knee, water up to the knee, and I just went, yeah, I can't take a knee because I'm wearing all white.
Yep. And then you were like, later you were like, I was trying to fucking propose to you, was what you yelled
Well,
at me.
I was trying not to let the backpack get fucked up, but then I thought if my face gets fucked up, it's going to be an even worse day.
Yeah.
So somehow through sheer force of will, my torso stayed upright while my
Waist
leg
up, perfect.
but waist
Legs down.
spaghetti. Goddamn nightmare.
Crazy legs. So then we make it to the store, which we had to walk up the street, encounter this accident, go to the store, and then backtrack a little bit to turn. The store ended up sucking. We won't give them any praise.
No.
So we could have completely avoided this by just not
100%.
going to the store that had literally nothing in it.
They had like 7 t-shirts out that were all extravagantly expensive
And hard to tell gender, like, and of course things can be unisex, but
Right.
then sometimes I'm like, it happens to me at like H&M and stores like Forever
like you see like a
21.
really cool
And I'm like,
shirt.
oh yeah, and then I turn around and it's like baby girl, and I'm like, oh well, this isn't for me. I don't think. I mean,
no, it's exactly for you.
I mean, it could be.
It's your aesthetic.
And yeah, it's like wear whatever you want, but I also like a cleaner cut line between men and women, because
Right.
I can't pull off a women's.
I mean,
shirt.
I
I'm
just
not
like
pretty
I
enough.
just like a good t-shirt. That's
Yeah.
just me, you know. T-shirts are unisex. Give me a nice t-shirt,
Yeah,
you know.
and it was just very confusing. So then from there we went to Boneyard, which is pretty cool vintage store. A little pricey, but you know,
a little bit. Yeah,
you
but
wanna
it was
drop some money. It was
Yeah.
nice. They had some beautiful shoes. If I had more money on me,
oh
and
my
it wasn't
God,
pouring
yeah.
rain, then I would have.
They had a fantastic long sleeve I wanted to get where they have Chicago spelled out in bones on the arm.
Yeah,
and
it's their actual company.
I'm gonna order it from the website because I ended up getting something much cooler. Because I told myself I was like, if I don't find some, because I wanted to get myself one extravagant thing in the city. I was like, I want to just blow a bit of money that I wouldn't normally blow.
Yeah,
And what was the store we checked out before we went to Sugar?
Dusty Groove. I'm getting there.
Okay.
We're going chronologically. So yeah, shout out Boneyard. After that, we hopped over to Dusty Groove, which is just down the road.
Before we hopped into Dusty Groove, however, the rain
No,
started.
it was after Dusty Groove.
Was it?
Yeah, trust me.
Okay.
So we go in there, record store. We browsed around. They have a nice selection, but nothing really jumped out to me.
It's a really nice selection if you're into like obscure older records. I
Yeah.
realized because like
That's where I got Gil Scott Heron.
well, because one of the things I was interested in was like some older blues records, and they
Mm-hmm.
didn't really. Their blues section was really more like modern electric blues. I noticed from
Yeah.
like the 80s and 90s and stuff, and I tend to like more like the really old like 1920s, 1930s kind of sound.
That's how a lot of stores are. They have like their specific.
And like it was
thing more
and
so.
it was a fantastic record store.
I've gotten things there before. It's one of my favorites in the city that
Yeah.
I've been to. There's so many, but yeah, it just wasn't hidden that day. per
no.
se.
So shout out Dusty Groove.
Yeah,
you guys
definitely
were
check
fantastic.
it out if you're in that area. Then as we looked outside while you were waiting to get your bag, it was
Down. It was a
downpour.
tsunami
It was
outside.
as
it was
bad as it had gotten.
It was ridiculous. And so we're just walking in the rain down the street getting
Yeah.
soaked to the bone.
And prior to this, I had been making fun of umbrellas because I'm
All
always
day.
like, they're so ridiculous. Like, I don't want to fucking carry an umbrella around. It looks stupid. And then you were like, we need to get umbrellas because it was just
Like,
unbelievable.
we
And
were
we
all-
had been wet and then going in stores and like staying
And, like-
wet. My nipples were soaked at this point.
he was
I had
bitching
thought
about
of-
his nipples so much.
because
it was
had gotten
unbelievable.
through my first shirt and then my undershirt, but just on the nipples.
You were like-
God was playing a weird trick on me.
You were like Andy in that episode of The Office where they do the marathon and he puts on a cotton top and doesn't tape his nipples, and the whole run he's just
Yeah,
like,
my nipples were
my
taped.
nipples.
But yeah, so we happen to be walking past a CVS, and I was saying my previous experience with being in a rainy Chicago situation was that they like upped the price on umbrellas, and it was
Yeah,
like
like
$20.
supercharged them.
So you were like, let's go in CVS, and I'm like, there's no way. And then it turns out they were like $6 umbrellas.
Because it's a goddamn CVS. It's not like some hipster like
well,
clothing
I'm
store
pretty
where
sure
they're
I'd
selling
went to
umbrellas.
like a fucking Walgreens, and it was crazy. I don't know.
Well, fuck Walgreens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck
CVS is
Walgreens.
where it's at.
Actually, I like Walgreens more than
I like CVS more. That's where I get my prescriptions at.
Fuck your prescription.
We're old ass dads. I need my meds.
So we both got $6 umbrellas,
which was and
which
and might
ended
I
up-
say when they ended up being lifesavers for what it's
Yes.
worth. But when we went into the store, I feel like everyone just kind of looked at us because here comes two basically shaggy dog looking type guys
Yeah.
soaking to the bone, looking like weird thugs. I was wearing like a death metal band t-shirt from like 2008. You were wearing your floral button up, and we just stormed into the CVS Soppin' Wet, and I was like, just buy one. They're only $6.99.
Well, yeah, as soon as I found out the price, I wasn't against it. It was still it's very weird to carry around an umbrella.
It's
strange. I hadn't
Yeah.
held an umbrella prior to that.
in years.
But I was probably like 6.
I mean,
or something.
I just try to stay out of the rain normally, but like we were in the city and I wasn't about to bitch out and just be like, a little rain ain't gonna scare me. It's
Yeah.
just water. It dries up.
But then
you
it
know?
got to be so much.
But then it got to be like standing in a shower while you were walking. It's like, no, we need some
Yeah.
umbrellas.
So we got the umbrellas. Then we got to Sugar Records, which is my favorite record.
Shout
store.
out Sugar Records for like forever. These guys were fantastic. I'm into some different music. Let's put it that way.
Some garbage music. Some terrible bullshit music.
Yeah, we can go with that. I'm into some shit. I'm into some really shit music.
They do have a fantastic selection, like everything. They have probably one of the best rap selections I've seen in a record store.
Amen to that. Let me just say that there was several artists that I didn't know that I could find on vinyl commercially. They had 2 different Arca albums, which if you've never heard of Arca, check him out. He's a fantastic avant-garde producer. He's done work with like Bjork, FKA Twigs. He's done a lot of high profile work. It's just his solo stuff is so jarring and weird that like I really want to get it on vinyl, and I was gonna get his first album on vinyl, but then they had both the Twin Peaks limited series new soundtrack on limited green vinyl for $40, and they also had the
which I found. You're welcome.
Yeah, God bless you, man, because they had the score and then they had the soundtrack, and I have the soundtrack on CD, and it's like compilation of all the artists that played in the show, and it's it's good. I really want to end up getting the vinyl eventually because it comes on like this marbled red and black, which just looks beautiful. But I ended up getting the Twin Peaks limited series soundtrack. That was like my big splurge in the city because it was like $40. But then I almost got salty because it was like day before yesterday, and on the Twin Peaks page on Facebook they were like, new green vinyl back in stock and on sale, and I was like, motherfucker. No, but then I went and looked. It was $35. It was $5 off, and then with the shipping it was almost $50. So really,
exactly,
that's one of the few instances where I can say I went to Chicago and I saved money.
Yeah, there you go.
I also ended up picking up Charlie Patton Remastered Volume 2, who's an old blues man I'm really, really into, and Jack White remastered all of his recordings several years ago and put it out on 4 different vinyl series, and I was able to find 2. But I did some research, and it turns out some of these are getting increasingly hard to find. Like the one I found, it was $11.99, which was a goddamn steal because those were like $50 when they first came out. But I was looking for volumes 1, 3, and 4 online, and they range anywhere between $12 and $116.
Yep, the joy of record collecting.
So this is going to be a bit of an endeavor for me, but
it's good to have your holy grail because I finally got my holy grail, and then I kind of spoiled like the one I've always been looking for. So it is nice to have.
Also, they had every Frank Ocean album on vinyl.
Yeah, they sell bootlegs. Obviously, Frank Ocean hasn't released anything on vinyl besides the Black Friday version of Blonde, which I obtained.
Of course he did, because I might be a Frank Ocean fanatic, but you are head and shoulders above me.
I try. But yeah, they sell bootlegs, which are super cool.
They had Nostalgia Ultra. They had these 2 compilations I'd never heard of. Where it was like these unreleased Frank tracks. Yeah, man.
Yeah, they have Channel Orange and Channel Orange Live.
Yeah, send me there with like $500.
They have a bootleg copy of Blonde. But yeah, they sell bootlegs. That's where I got The Life of Pablo on vinyl. So I like bootlegs. Some people are like crazy against it.
I mean, I'm not crazy.
It doesn't sound as good as some shit, but
I mean, to me, it's like I understand where it's like artistic integrity, where people are like, no, you should buy it from the artist.
But if you're not going to give me that option, that's what I'll do.
That's my thing, because it's like if you're not, it's like in a retail store. Like if you don't sell something, like I'm comfortable telling people to go somewhere else and get it, because it's like if we don't sell it, I can't like force you to buy a different product. You know,
and that's why I got Pablo. That's never going to come out on vinyl.
Right,
it's like a beautiful green swirl marble shit,
and I bet it sounds fantastic too.
Yeah, it sounds decent. It's obviously like digital recording put onto vinyl, so it's never going to be great, but sometimes I like to just put on a record instead of listening to it.
I mean, that's the sweet thing about this Twin Peaks vinyl is like I can listen to the soundtrack like on CD or digitally and it sounds one way, but vinyl always opens up a new world of sounds for me, and it's like listening to this specific soundtrack was so cool. Just I don't have a speaker setup nearly as nice as yours. I'm actually very envious of it and would like to get one similar to it. For the drama sound system is so fucking crazy. What did you had it turned up to like what 2, 3?
No, it was turned up to like 12 when it got crazy.
And it was like shaking your goddamn house.
Yeah, I got to keep it at like a 6 when I'm like turning it up to a fun volume that's still comfortable. Yeah, it goes up to 45, and I don't know what happens.
I think the earth ends when you turn it up to 45. That's the only reasonable explanation.
If you're Rockford adjacent like us, go to Culture Shock.
Yes.
You should already know what that is.
Shock.
Shout out Culture Shock. Skylar helped me pick up a beautiful system that you saw that's just... It's a little excessive, but, you know, go big or go home.
Also, speaking of Culture Shock, a fun thing that happened is some people were there while I was in the city. And they had a Twin Peaks poster on the wall that the dude just gave him for me. And so I got a Twin Peaks poster plus the vinyl at home.
Beautiful. Yeah. Skylar's a great guy. Buy your records.
Oh, yeah. No, shout out Skylar.
Trying to get a system. He like walked me around for like 45 minutes. I didn't even.
That guy knows his shit. Like,
yeah.
If you want to talk about talk vinyl.
I wasn't even like concrete on buying a system, and I gave him like a price point, and he worked with it, and he walked me around and gave me different options and got me what I have now, and I fucking love it. It's incredible.
No, if anybody out there is interested is in the Rockford area and is interested in getting in the vinyl, 2 stores I could recommend is Toad Hall if you're looking for like older vinyls and stuff like that, and they do stock a lot of newer stuff.
Yeah, they have equipment as well.
And I really like Toad Hall a lot. They've always been very kind and personable every time I've been there. Shout out Toad Hall. They've been in Rockford for what, 50, 60 years?
Yeah, it's under new ownership in the past couple years. And
well,
it's actually went better.
It's actually the son of the original owners, if I understand correctly. Yes.
Yeah, he definitely, because when I used to go way back, it was just like, if you want to scrounge, it was fucking crazy.
But
and
now
he's cleaned it up a lot.
He's got a great organization.
There's still a lot
going.
if you want to take a day and dig through records, like
it's worth
They've got a big room of that. But yeah, they also carry newer or like more common used vinyl.
I picked up several years ago. I picked up The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me by Brand New on white marble vinyl for like $35. Like it was, and they do so good on like new stuff with prices and stuff.
Yeah, I like Toad Hall. I fucking love Culture Shock. Both of those are your go-to.
I love Toad Hall, but if anybody listening is interested in like starting a vinyl collection and they don't know where to start, definitely go talk to Skylar down at Culture Shock, because
he'll help you.
I've known Skylar for years. I've been going to Culture Shock for a long time. Since it's a Rockford staple, really. If you're kind of into like subculture like you and I are.
Yeah, they have more stuff than records as well. They have clothing and like knickknacks, and
definitely
really,
shout out Culture Shock. Go check those guys out.
Now. Yeah, I love them. Anyway, back to Chicago. Then we proceeded to kind of just pop around on Milwaukee. We stopped at Ragstock, which was another one of my favorite things, because it's a very small, Chicago has these like stores like Ragstock or like thrift stores where everything is just fucking jammed in there because you can't get a nice big space.
Is this how I got stuck behind the dresses?
Yeah. So there's wedding dresses, and Slim is 60 feet tall. It's difficult to navigate.
I had to hold the umbrella like this.
He's just getting trapped in between dresses, trying to squeeze through areas where there's nowhere to squeeze through, and just standing back and watching that was very pleasant to me. Then you proceeded to lose your fucking ticket for the bag that they checked. They had to check the bag like everywhere we went,
which was fine by me because man, carrying that fucking bag around the city was torture.
It's a nice break. But then I fucking watched you drop. I didn't know what it was at the time because every store gives you a different little thing to indicate you have a bag, and they're all weird. This was like a ripped up playing card.
It was like half a playing card, and they like wrote something on it, and I lost it in this gigantic fucking Ragstock because of course I was looking at everything in there because I fucking love Ragstock.
Yeah, so
and that
was a whole ordeal.
You were like an angry dad about to have a brain aneurysm because you're like, find your fucking ticket, let's go. I can't believe
because you had lost something else earlier.
What? That's right.
Yeah, you just
it was just in my pocket though.
Yeah, I know, that's the problem. I'd rather have you have actually lost it and try to find it. So yeah, we jumped Ragstock, a couple other places on Milwaukee. That whole strip is beautiful. Then we finally trekked to your goddamn Mexican restaurant.
Yes, it's Quesadilla La Renta del Sur on Milwaukee.
Yeah, the old Del Sur.
It's a 100% vegan, authentic Mexican eatery. And they specialize in soy-based proteins. So they do they do milanesa, they do al pastor, they do chicken. They actually do vegan chicharrones, which I was really interested in trying, but like I'd never been here before, so I wanted to try some of the other meats before I hopped into soy-based pork rinds,
Yeah.
Fantastic little atmosphere. It's just this tiny little place.
Yeah, it was small.
It was super small. Fantastic tabletop salsa. It was chunky. It was super spicy, just the way I like it.
It was.
And they have...
Our waiter's lower back was coming out too much in the back.
He
looks like he kills people,
He had
right?
a weird curved spine. I hope he's okay. I hope he doesn't have like spina bifida.
His shirt was riding up, and I
That
was like,
too,
put it
yeah.
away, buddy.
But they do the vegan Mexican food, and then they also do like juices. They also have like a juice bar there that you can choose from, and they're like, you know, juice cleanses, which I don't necessarily know how much I believe in, because like it's just fucking juice.
There was
like,
a ton of them, and I would have been interested had I not been drinking a good part of the day, and then was going to continue drinking. So I'm like, why clean it out now when I'm just gonna messy it up?
Well, they have. I'm a burrito guy. My go-to is always burritos. It's compact. You can hold it. It's an easy thing to do.
Yeah, you can fuck it.
You're right. You can just stick your whole dick in. And so they have regular burritos, and then they have what's called the big burrito, and it says on the menu, this one is huge. And I was like, bet it isn't. So he brings out, I ordered two. I ordered one to go, and then I ordered one for the table. He brings me out a burrito that is literally two giant burritos, but it turns out it's just one cut in half, because when I got home the next day and opened up the other one, it wasn't cut. It was just one long, huge burrito that was like almost a foot and a half, 2 feet long. It was gigantic. And the flavor was out of this world for soy-based protein, because there's a lot of times where you
how you gave me shit about explaining my sandwich that caught on fire.
Well,
anyway, continue.
Because you were just a goddamn mess getting sauce all over yourself.
I wish your burritos would have caught on fire.
I wish they would have too. I could have had a Flamin' Slim and it would have been nice. But no, the food was fantastic. The atmosphere was fantastic. They were playing like 80s rock radio while we were in there, which was very unexpected.
Yeah, very different.
I didn't realize how much I needed to listen to Thunderstruck while eating a big burrito in my life, though. That was a really nice moment.
That brought me back, because we were still sopping wet.
Oh, yeah, but it was so nice to sit down and eat something. Because in between the time it took Drama to get his Gus's and me to get my quesadilla, it was like 6 hours. So like we just got to the city and it was like Gus's, and then like it's not like, it wasn't like a thing. It was just because mine was at like the farthest point away we had to walk, and so it was like almost 8:30 by the time we got there.
Yeah, I think it was earlier than that.
God, I was starving. It was so, and I didn't realize how hungry I was because I was just like moving around a lot during the day. You know, I ate half of it, took the other half home, and as I'm driving home, which we'll get to, how angry I was driving home. No, I got home and I was hungrier than I'd ever been in my entire life, because after all that walking and then sitting and all the stress from the train ride home, which we'll get into, I just shoved that thing in my mouth and it was so good. After I fucked it, I shoved it in my mouth and it was delicious. If you're ever on Milwaukee Avenue, go check them out.
It was on Western.
Was it on Western?
Yeah.
Go check them out. It's fantastic. Just type in vegan Mexican food Chicago, and they're definitely going to come up. Shout out to those guys. Sponsor us. We'll come there. We'll get all kinds of food. It's great.
I won't, but anyway. So then we we went up to one of the Emporium locations just to kind of break up the walk. And they were having some sort of costume party, so we were underdressed. It took me forever to get a PBR. I was about to walk away, but then I realized you had disappeared, because there was a crowded bar and then a small toilet. Game or mug on the bar, and I'm like, could someone move this fucking toilet so I can order a beer already? And then finally she comes over, I get a fucking tall boy PBR and drank it, and we just stood around awkwardly while it smelled like shit.
Yeah.
And then we watched Critters 3.
Critters, Ghoulies.
No, it's Critters.
No, it was Ghoulies.
No, because I said it was Ghoulies, and you said, no, it's not.
No,
it's
we were talking about Critters, but the movie itself was Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College. I know this because I went home and
Why did I watch Critters?
I don't know, because I went home and watched Ghoulies, you fucking idiot.
That's why I told you Critters. All right,
well,
whatever.
I told you to watch Critters because I watched all the Critters movies as a kid.
Yeah, because then when I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is what we talked about on the horror movie.
No, I actually went home and I watched the first Ghoulies movie. I haven't gotten to 2, or there's actually 4 altogether. There's Ghoulies, Ghoulies 2, Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College, and then Ghoulies 4. Ghoulies 4 looks like a goddamn nightmare. I don't even want to like get close to it.
That's where I'm starting.
It's in the first one came out in 1984, and then 4 came out in 1994. So it looks like a very 90s horror movie, but 1, 2, and 3 have that fantastic 80s aesthetic that's really good. I'm going to be playing those movies during my Halloween party. I'm going to have trap music playing with ghoulies on the TV, which
Beautiful.
I feel is a fantastic aesthetic to have.
And then while we were there, we looked outside and it was
Downpouring again.
downpour.
Ridiculously.
Like, as crazy as it can get.
I was thinking about this during the week, actually, and we were getting texts from people saying, like, oh, yeah, it's really bad here in Rockford. And it's like, okay. And then I realized after we got those texts, like 2 hours later is when it got bad in Chicago. So we should have taken like all of our friends' warnings as like pretext and prepared better, but that's not who we are. We just do things on the fly because we're the dapper fucking dads. God damn it.
Yeah, so then it was pouring and I finished my beer and we went to another location. Are we going to say what it was? Are we going to explain what happened there?
I feel like by talking about the whole setup of the place, it's going to give it away. So
should we can edit this out if needed. Are we going to talk about what we did there?
Of course we're going to talk about what we did there. So we'll just bleep out the location. So
I mean, it's going to be obvious.
Okay, so we won't name the bar, but the place that we went was a pop-up. And this place is,
I mean, it's already, that's going to give it away so hard.
These places,
but allegedly, we went to Emporium, House of the Dead pop-up. People are gonna know either way. So
right. Yeah. So you get to the bar and
it's where the Stranger Things bar was, the pop-up.
Yeah. So if you saw that video on Facebook, we went.
I was trying to go there, but the line was outrageous. So we went for this, and it was very dead. Ironically, House of the Dead. We went in there. It's fucking incredible.
Oh my god! So you walk in. And there's a picture that I put on the Facebook page, which is the stairs, and it says dungeon.
Yeah,
which was
meant to be,
which was fantastic. And so you walk in this little door, you make a left, and would you say like half the bar was a haunted house?
Yeah,
half the bar was set up like a haunted house.
Yeah, it's not a huge place, but yeah, and at
they
first
made it seem a lot bigger.
Yeah, because at first we didn't really look into that. We went and they were playing Hellraiser on a big screen.
Great choice.
And music over it. So we were sitting there. I got a beer and we're just sitting there watching it, talking, and then we investigated. And yeah, it has the room that clearly was the Stranger Things couch set up because they had that. And then you walk through, and there was like a murder shower scene.
And then when you went through that, it was like the skeletons.
Yeah,
in the archway,
a hall of skeletons.
Which we got some fantastic pictures of us in.
It's very sick. Like, definitely check it out. I think it goes until November 1st or something.
Yeah.
It was, like we were talking about, like, there needs to be more bars like that. Like, that's our aesthetic.
If I could go to any establishment and it's set up like a horror movie, I will spend all my money there. That's just the way life goes.
And then they were offering special cocktails for this.
All Halloween themed, obviously.
Which they had done with the Stranger Things one as well. So none of them were really like jumping out to me because they it was great things that had like a weird ingredient. So then I'm like,
right. It just makes you question whether it's going to be any good.
And then there was one that was good. It was like Camp Crystal Lake. It was like a punch.
It was like a vodka grapefruit or something like that.
Something good like that. So it's like $25 and it serves 2 to 3 people.
And then there was a $50 one that served 5 to 6.
Which is just a bucket that they douse you in. And I didn't have the money.
No. Nobody has money for a $50 pitcher in Chicago.
We decided since we were chilling there for a bit, we would try this punch. And then immediately we see him.
So here's what happens. We go up to the counter, and it was starting to get a little popping at this point. People were starting to show up. It was starting to be a little bit more of a party environment. We go up to the counter, we order the drink, and the man grabs how would you describe this? A glass skull. Yeah,
it's a glass skull. I've seen them before. It has a spout on the top.
Well, I looked. It's actually a brand of vodka. It's called Skull Vodka because.
I've seen that before.
Because allegedly, we may or may not have seen this gentleman pick up, and this is how you know the Dapper Dads are like Dapper Dads for life. He picks up this glass skull. And they just have the drinks labeled on the wall with like the initials so they know what they're pouring.
Yeah, and it just comes out of the wall.
Takes this glass skull up to this thing and starts pouring it in there. And allegedly, Drama and I
we possibly might have had the exact same thought
which
at the
was
same moment.
We're stealing this. And allegedly. And so we allegedly go and sit back down and we're just checking out movies and stuff. And it's the drink's going fast. It's not a big skull. It was probably a child's skull size.
Yeah.
So picture a child-sized skull full of vodka punch.
It's very good drink. They gave us little Halloween cups,
little Dixie cups,
the skull juice into.
So we're allegedly back in the corner watching Children of the Corn. Yes. Allegedly,
and then hypothetically, we could have given the. I don't even fucking know.
Given
the circumstances, it would have been a possibility that maybe We just shoved a skull in a backpack.
And allegedly walked out through the haunted house, went outside, had a cigarette, and called an Uber.
Because I'm not walking all the way back.
Fuck. Okay, and here's what made the night really fantastic for me. Because, like, we went to some really cool shops during the day. I checked out some stores I'd never been to before.
I was a great guide for
Chicago. You were like, shout out to Chicago shout out to Drama.
Dad's got it down.
Because like I know of a lot of cool places in Chicago to check out, but you had like an itinerary planned. You had these places to go. If you ever want to party, like come party with Drama, because like
I don't play games.
No, he don't play games. If you come party, like
people plan it out and we're gonna have a good time today.
Well, like I know people who listen to the show and they're like, man, you guys seem like you're fun to hang out with. And like if you hang out with me, it's just like my ADD acts up, and it's like, listen, there's a very good chance you could come out and have some sensible drinks. Or there's a very good chance that you're going to be with me while I'm running down a bridge, kicking traffic cones, screaming, USA!
Yeah.
USA!
And I get to that point, but we've had a great day prior to it.
Right, yeah.
And I know where I'll be when I'm screaming in the streets.
Right, with me it's just bullshit, like all day. But if you want a good focus day, come out with Slim and Drama, because Slim will have the crazy, Drama will have the itinerary. You'll fall somewhere neatly in the middle. But so we were walking around all day. We were exhausted. We checked out these cool stores. We had these fantastic experiences. Had the best Uber driver of our entire life.
One of my top
Uber
drivers. Pulled up in a Benz S-Class.
A Benz. And it took him 2 minutes. Like we walked out of the bar. We walked around the corner and we were like, oh, let's get a good address. And it's like, be there in 2 minutes. And he just skirts up outside.
Got in that bitch and he was fucking hilarious.
He was, okay, because you've ridden in an Uber a lot more than I have. You've had some terrible Uber experiences. Yeah. I've only ridden in an Uber one other time, and it was in Rockford, and it really wasn't terrible. Like he was just a little chatty, and like I wasn't in the mood.
You either have like really good, really bad, or then just like a guy driving you around. And a lot of times I don't like to make conversation. It depends where I'm at. And then if I do make conversation, I usually ask them what their craziest
This guy was like a stand-up comedian. He was just
jumped right
one
into it,
after one, and
talking about how his friend was holding a 12-pack of beers and like fell down the hill and never spilled.
Didn't spill a single
two
beer.
beers were out of the 12-pack, so they were loose, and he held them all up while he tumbled down the hill.
Eating shit himself, but saving the beer. What else did he tell us? He was like, he's really good at was it chemistry he was really good at?
I think so, yeah.
He was really, really good at some kind of science, and he was telling us how he hated math, but then he was like, man, that shit's all just numbers anyway, so you got to know math to figure it out, and I hate math. And he's like, all my friends send their kids to me to figure this out. I'm a professor. Like, he was...
Yeah, it felt like he got us to the train station in 5 minutes, but we also knew his entire life story.
Well, what made that ride so fantastic was we were walking around the city all day, checked out all these cool places, and then as we're getting driven back, he takes the main highway through Chicago, and so we're driving back, and it's just this beautiful city skyline. It was dark. All the buildings were lit up, and it's like, this is a really picturesque moment to end a really fantastic day.
Yeah, that guy was great. And had that been one of the last moments, I would have said that was a great day in Chicago. Besides the rainy weather, it kind of drains you.
It does. And we initially were gonna head back on the 12:40 train, but we were like tired and exhausted. We're like, we'll just catch the 10:40, get back a little bit earlier.
Yeah, that was the plan.
We were standing at the train station having a cigarette outside, and we were like, you know what? So even though the rain's successful day today, 9.5 out of 10, fantastic day. We get into the station, we get some lemonade from Popeyes, we go get on the train, we go to leave the station, and here's the setup for you. We're wet, we're exhausted, we're tired, we're finally happy to be sitting down. The rain was so significant that day that one of the power boxes on the track, the conductor box, got flooded and short-circuited, and so we were stuck on the train for 3 hours. I want you to think about a 3-hour movie, and I would like you to think about how you're sitting in the theater watching a 3-hour movie, and at about 2.5 hours you think, this really wasn't worth the money to pay for. I have to piss, my legs are asleep, and I want to leave.
Yeah.
Now picture being stuck in a train, breathing the same air over and over and over again. And so Drum and I are on the left side. Sitting kitty corner to us are two women who
had been, I'm assuming, I don't know what Sam Adams Oktoberfest was occurring that same day.
The first thing that happened,
they had definitely come from some sort of drinking event. They did not seem intoxicated, just obnoxious.
And the first thing that we noticed, and if you have me on Snapchat, you would have seen this.
I mentioned it to you because I look over to my right, and I'm just, people watching, and the woman on the left produces a necklace with pretzels on it.
But the rope on the necklace was like Christmas ribbon.
Yeah, just ribbon, and the pretzels were just like
It was like picture a candy necklace with pretzels on it, and this woman proceeded to eat the whole necklace in front of us like a goddamn animal with no respect for her surroundings.
Yeah, while yelling, her friend had like a broken leg, and they proceeded to be very loud, constantly talking about drinking.
Constantly.
I like to drink. We all know this.
I'm an ex-alcoholic myself.
I drink.
No,
and when I'm not drinking, I don't talk about drinking. Even if I'd been drinking all day, I don't talk about drinking. At one point, they were talking about drinking and food almost exclusively, and one of their boyfriends being at the train station and waiting for them. And this is probably an hour in. And I look over, and the woman who was eating the pretzels off of a necklace is looking at a picture on her phone. So I look at it. Yeah, it's a ridiculous statement.
Nobody's going to believe this, but I saw it happen.
Yeah, this is all very real. I look at her. She's looking at a picture on her phone. It's a picture of her, and she's holding a glass of beer. She zooms in on the picture
to look at the beer.
I would the glass of beer just to stare at it.
That is among probably the top 3 most alcoholic things I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay, here's the thing. I used to like chug liquor. Like I used to be at the point with my alcoholism that like I was just chugging just straight liquor, and never have I ever wanted a drink so bad that I looked at a picture of me holding a drink and reminisced about the good times when I had a drink in my fucking hand. What, lady, if you're listening to this show and you were on the train,
you're a fucking monster.
You're a fucking monster. Like if your whole, it seemed like, okay, because like, you know how sometimes you just get like brief moments with people with like a cashier or like somebody in a store, and it's just like a brief window into that person's existence, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like this was a very open book into this woman's existence, and her existence centered around food and liquor. Okay, when
I hate her just
I'm getting flustered thinking about this because I was sitting on the train, and there was one moment, and after walking around for 10 hours being in the rain, and this woman's like, you know, maybe we should just get off the train and get some drinks. I just started going, shut up. She
would occasionally turn to us and make some horrible joke,
just some joke about like, man, don't you wish they had a drink card on this thing?
Yeah,
it's like, this isn't a 50s.
They're like, shut the fuck up.
Like we're
getting to the point. And another thing that bothers me, okay, so this train has stopped. We don't know how long it's going to be overall. This is probably an hour and a half in. The train ride is an hour and a half, so we should have been done.
Home by now.
We're getting to the point where the time is hitting where we could have gotten on the later train. We could have stayed at the cool bar, gotten on the later train, and still made it home at the same time we ended up making it. My biggest pet peeve is when there's some sort of holdup, when people constantly talk about how long it's happening. Give me the time that it's been happening. Like she said this has been going on for 70 minutes, and I wanted to choke the fucking life out of her. I don't need
because we all know it's been 70 fucking minutes, lady.
And I don't like to know the time. I like to sit there and think, well, I have ADD. Maybe it's only been 20 minutes.
Right,
and then when someone's like, it's been 73 minutes, I'm like, shut the fuck up. So they were a nightmare. There was also a man who just repeatedly slammed the train door, and I thought he would kill us.
He looked like a heroined out Tommy Wiseau, the guy who directed The Room, and it was terrifying because we were right by the door leading into the other cart, and he was walking back and forth like an angry panther with a book bag.
Slamming the door and then looking at everyone very angrily. And I'm like, we're going to die on this train. And this was early on, and he proceeded to...
I accepted my death at about 75 minutes in.
I thought... Even after the train started moving, because it would start moving and then just move like 5 feet and then stop. Like to a ridiculous extent.
Every time it happened, the lady was like, yes, we're moving. And then it's like, fuck, man, we're never going to. She was like, at one point, she like called her boyfriend or husband.
He'd been waiting at the train station for an hour. And I was like, leave the train station, leave the city, leave your life with this horrible, wretched bitch.
Just
do anything else. I hope you get better because she is a nightmare.
If you're listening to the show and that was your wife who was stuck on the train,
leave your wife. Leave your wife. Leave.
Take the baby. Leave your wife.
Don't
get your wife into Alcoholics Anonymous, because for the love of God, if I have to ever...
She's like, I hope he's got some snacks. I'm like, bitch, I hope he fucking...
She didn't need snacks. That's all I'm going to say. She ate all those pretzels. She did not need
that was
another
enough.
snack.
I didn't eat anything. I was irritated that I had the lemonade to hold on to because the train wouldn't move. So then we got Crazy Guy. It took... Yeah, not to dwell on this. It took 3 hours. Our legs hurt so bad. We're both taller men.
Right.
There's not enough leg room to begin with.
Not. And like, oh God, I'm thinking about this now, and it's stressing me out thinking about that train ride. I had horrible
growing pains in my life. One of the top 5 pains in my life was when I fucking grew. I was like 5'4" and grew to 6'1". I swear to God, overnight. Like American Werewolf in London when he transforms. I bought a pair of pants from a kid that I knew, and my mom had to sew them, and then the next day I went to put them on, and she had to let them out again because I had grown like a fucking foot in a night, and it was horrible, and that's what my legs fucking felt like.
So between 6th grade and 8th grade, I went from 5'10" to 6'4", and between 6th grade and 7th grade, I went from 5'10" to 6'3" over a summer. And
that math doesn't sound right.
Literally, it was so fast, and then it was just like 1 other inch over a year. But that summer was so...
Did you hit your head on everything for like a month after?
Hit my head on everything. None of my pants fit right. Everywhere I walked, even if I just got up to like go to the kitchen and get something to drink, it hurt so excruciating.
I just sleep on a futon because I thought I was dying.
It's that pain like deep in your bones too, and that's how I felt at the end of the night. Like my shins.
It literally.
Oh god.
When we finally got off the train, you were like, "I'm gonna kiss the ground." And I was like, "I'm gonna fuck the ground if we ever get off this train." We accepted our fate as train people. That's what I refer to. I was like, I was
texting my mother. I was like, "Mom, I just live on the train now. You're gonna have to come visit me."
I fully accepted that. It felt like the beginning of a horror movie, some fucked up experiment just to see how long it takes people to lose their mind on a train. I went through a point where I was like, I'm losing my mind.
All I could think about was that story about where you talked about the guy who got on the bus and he just like killed that guy. And I was like, that's gonna be Tommy Wiseau. He's gonna come fucking kill us.
That guy stole our tickets later when we moved.
He did. We like moved seats and he like snatched him up really angrily. And it's like, what if I have to get home?
I was like, I don't care if they kick us off the train at this point because we won't be on the train anymore. The one thing I regret was not recording the audio of me driving to my house, because we were just screaming.
Like 2 grown men, 2:30 in the morning, highway back roads, screaming our lungs out and bitching like 2 old ladies who had just had their coupon denied at the store because we've been in some shit together. I think I tend to think that
I've been in some shit by myself, and this is a top 5.
This was a top 5
experience.
nightmare. Like the whole ride back, we were like going around other cars, like, why aren't you going fast enough? We literally got back to Dramas, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave. I'll see ya. I got in my car, and so we got back to your house, and it's a 45-minute drive, almost an hour actually, from your house to my house.
Yeah.
And it's like 3 in the morning. I'm exhausted. I've been up for like 18 hours. I'm like, I gotta listen to something that's gonna keep me awake. I was so angry. I was playing Scarlord on the way back. If you've listened to any Scarlord recently.
No.
Okay, so what he is he's a newer generation rapper, and he just screams. He just screams all of his lyrics, and I had never listened to him before. And somebody was like, check out Scarlord. He's pretty good. And I was like, okay, so I was like, I just need something to listen to on the way back. I don't even care. I just threw it on, and he just like, and I was like, this is what I should have been listening to on the train.
My legs hurt so bad that I genuinely feared that they would never work right again. That's sincerely how much pain my legs were in.
Did you think I was gonna have to like Lieutenant Dan you and like carry you on my back for the show?
I was hoping someone would kill me.
Oh, God, please.
Yeah, and we say a lot that life is getting dark. Life has not been that dark between the two of us.
Life
ever.
was nihilistically dark for us. Like we've been in some shit where like
when the train started moving again and it did that thing where it shifts, I was like, I hope to God it just flips over.
I hope it just buckles and kills me.
At a certain point, I don't care anymore.
There was a good chance the show was going to end on episode 11 because we thought life was over.
And no one would have known what happened. They wouldn't have heard this hour recap of us.
So that is the fantastic tale of how the Dapper Dads did Chicago. Also, a fun fact, we slapped stickers in every bathroom we were at. Yes. So if you frequent any of those places and see 402-732-7737 plastered up on the wall, you know who it was.
Yep, give us a call.
So if you ever want to come to the city with the Dapper Dads, let us know. We got places to go. We can help you kill people on a train.
Yeah, you got to drive because we're not taking.
Oh no, I refuse. Yeah, fuck the train. I refuse.
Fuck Metro.
Was it Metro?
Metro, I think, right?
Metro. Fuck Metro. I refuse. And then the guy.
Let me get this. The guy. So we moved seats. We took the stupid bitch's seat, the one where they're facing each other, and I'm just poured into the seat.
And time
my
out.
Legs hurt so bad.
When you sat in the seat, there was pretzel remnants.
Yeah, there was pretzel remnants because she couldn't even
keep them all in her fucking mouth.
Necklace. Jesus Christ. So there's this fucking guy, the fucking guy who comes around and checks your tickets, the train man, and he comes in. So everyone is pissed. A lot of people had the joy of sleeping. I'm terrified to sleep on the train because of that story. I don't want to get my head cut off, especially after I see Slammy McGee coming around looking like.
How would you have even been able to sleep through that?
I wouldn't have. I can't sleep on shit like that. So everyone's irritated. This guy comes in and he's like, oh yeah, we know everything, is fucked up with the train. I don't want to be here either. Which I guarantee you that guy was making fucking overtime, making a pretty penny to be standing in the fucking train while I'm ready to die, and I'm gonna take him with
I
us.
hate people making money on my dying dime.
So he comes in, he's like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm with you guys. It's rough. He goes, who's free Wednesday at 4 p.m.? Which is a crazy question.
Which,
at this point, I'm like, he's asking for it. I'll get up and snap his
at this
neck.
point, I was hoping he could say, if you come to this bar, like, I'll give you tickets for a show, and we could kill him.
Yeah. I was like, oh, Wednesday at 4, I hope I'm dead because I don't want to be on this train anymore.
I was
So he's
surprised
like,
that you could even walk Wednesday.
Who's free? And he's like, I got some tickets for you. Who likes the Rolling Stones? So then I'm like, there's no fucking way this guy is going to give us Rolling Stones tickets because the train was delayed for 3 hours.
There's no
Why
way.
would they just have Rolling Stones tickets?
Why does
and then
this
he's like,
guy?
Yeah, and then he's cracking jokes because there's a bunch of young girls towards the back, and he's like, they don't know who Rolling Stones is. They only know who Chance is. I'm so cool. Look at how topical I can be. I know what the kid's like. Hello, fellow kid.
I know. Hello, fellow children. I, too, know of rap music from Chicago.
Rapper the Chance.
Chauncey the Romper.
So then finally people are like, all right, what's up with the Rolling Stone tickets? And he's like, I got some in my hand. Who wants them? So he hands them out to a couple people. And one lady goes, it's a fucking Rolling Stones tribute band.
Which,
And at that point,
I would have
we had
slapped
been
him.
on the train for almost 3 hours. Everything's bad. He's like, I have a consolation prize for you going through all this bullshit. It's Rolling Stones tribute band. That man deserves
to die. How on earth can you take 3 hours of human suffering and equate it to a Rolling Stones tribute band?
Yeah, it's like, hey, I know you've been trapped on this train, not being able to move, and your legs hurt real bad. How about I piss in your face right
Literally,
now? That's what it fucking felt like.
I felt like that guy just came over to my seat, dropped his pants, and shit on my chest. That's what it felt like.
I would have preferred that.
I would have preferred a Chance the Rapper tribute.
Yeah, I would have preferred literally anything. I don't even care about the Rolling Stones, but the fact that you're trying to give us tickets to see a tribute band on a Wednesday at 4 p.m.
And the fact that you would disguise it as the real thing.
You monster.
If you're listening to this show, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, with your stupid tattoos.
If you work for the Metro, find who this guy is, send us his full government name, and we'll compensate you somehow. We'll give you everything if we can just oh God.
Anyway.
I'm so mad. How can we even get into viewer submissions when I'm this pissed?
I know. So it was rough. Life got dark. And
life was like forbidden knowledge dark at that point.
We didn't deserve it. Anyway, yeah, let's get to some of these submissions.
I think the train ride was our karmic reward for allegedly taking that crystal skull.
It was way worse than it needed to be.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that skull meant something to somebody.
God, I'll break it right now.
I'll break it if it'll break the bad luck.
I know, that's why I got covered in marinara. Anyway, so here's some fucking submissions, you motherfuckers. I'm going to start with my favorite one. We got a voicemail this morning.
Which,
it's probably my favorite voicemail I've gotten so far.
It is the most Dapper Dad's voicemail we've ever received. I would like to start this with a preface. Don't do what this person did.
Yeah, we don't condone everything.
Except I condone.
All right, so here it is. It's a little... It's a little hard to hear
it's
at
garbled.
times because you'll understand.
Yeah,
why.
but go ahead and pop that shit on.
Hey, I'm just leaving this voicemail. I got a question. I got one of them questions there. It's 6:42 in the morning. I've been drinking last night, and I'm drunk, hungover. What's the best hungover drink at 6:42 in the morning? I'm about to run upstairs and grab myself a Gatorade, or should I grab a water? Or should I just grab a Pepsi? Motherfucking shit. Go Cups.
All right, so if you didn't get all of that, it is a voicemail from 6:49 a.m. where a gentleman had a long night of drinking and is a little hungover, wondering what the best hangover cure drink is. What do you drink in the morning after a long night of drinking?
So there's two schools of thought to this. One is that if you are particularly hungover, a little bit of hair of the dog that bit you will cure you. So my old hangover cure used to be
more liquor.
Drink wise, it was a Bloody Mary in the morning.
I fucking hate Bloody Marys.
And I get you hate Bloody Marys, and I know that. But for me, It just always worked. It was always good because it's like you got the food on top of the Bloody Mary as well, and like that helps.
Some of those Bloody Marys are
like
insane.
okay. My thing is like
It's a whole chicken on top of a Bloody Mary.
See, I like a Bloody Mary where like I go to a bar and they're like celery, pickle,
Yeah.
onion. It's like
Or like
nice
a Bloody Mary bar so you can handle yourself.
Right, that too. But like some places you go, they're like 4 sliders, a whole fried
know,
chicken,
it's insane.
a half a pizza, and it's like. To me, it's like go somewhere, get a good Bloody Mary that doesn't rely on the extravagancies of all that food, but get something good to go with it. You want to get that grease to soak some stuff up.
I've got some good tips.
Scientifically, they say a bacon sandwich is the way to go. For me, it was always grilled cheese with hash browns. That was always a good place for me to go. Bloody Mary, grilled cheese, fresh batch of hash browns, nice and greasy. Lots of good carbs to soak up everything. Bloody Mary to go with it. Cure you right up. Also, a little bit of pickle juice in the morning doesn't hurt either.
Jesus Christ.
No, seriously, that's the thing. In Poland, it's actually this huge thing where people...
pickleback.
Well, yeah, not even pickleback. They drink pickle juice the next morning after they get drunk to cure a hangover because pickle juice has a lot of electrolytes in it, and it also has a lot of... It's just very hydrated. They call it. There's a joke. What do you call pickle juice? Polish Gatorade, because they drink it after they get hungover, and that's worked for me in the past too. So I would say either
Too much will make you shit your pants.
either a good Bloody Mary or a shot of pickle juice. That's a good drink to have the morning after.
Those are horrible examples.
I would not recommend a Pepsi.
Yeah, I was gonna say he said Gatorade, water, or Pepsi. You shouldn't be drinking Pepsi in general.
No, Pepsi.
Not to be. I'm 2 years pop sober. Yesterday. Applause.
Congratulations.
Still want it every day. Pepsi was always disgusting to me. And that's just going to fuck you.
I just don't like
do that.
cola in general. To me, it's like all cola just tastes like ass. So it's like Pepsi was like...
I always liked Coca-Cola. But yeah, what you want to do, Gatorade's a good one. Water is best, but I understand sometimes you don't feel it.
You got to get the water in, though.
Yeah, because what you want to do, if you want to avoid hangovers, I don't get hangovers, but...
Yet.
Yeah. I am starting to feel a little iffy sometimes when I go real hard. But the one thing I've learned from people, if you really want to prevent a hangover, when you get home and you're shit-faced, just chug water.
Yep.
Like, you can't, like, there's not too much water at that point because you're so wildly dehydrated.
Well, and you don't even know it because...
you have no idea. You feel fine, but that's what causes the hangover.
Is the dehydration.
The dehydration and the poison in your fucking body.
Yeah.
So if you chug water, I've seen people drink like 3 glasses of water, perfectly fine in the morning. That helps you. So if you can think that through when you're super drunk, it's the best move. I still do it now, even though I don't get hungover. I still throw them back. What my fucking go-to, and it's more, like I said, I don't get hungover, so it's not like waking up and getting something. But you know when you've been drinking, you get home at like 2 and you wake up at like 4:30 in the morning and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Apple juice.
Always a
big thing of fucking apple
ice
juice.
Ice cold right out of the fridge, straight out of the jug.
Yeah,
oh,
that big fucking $4 jug.
Oh,
that
man.
shit. I've
the
definitely...
Indian summer.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Shout out Indian summer.
Sponsor us. We all know what we're using
we
your
just
product for.
We just get a crate of apple juice at the door. It's like, God, yes.
I remember standing in my kitchen plenty times, like just waking up and just drinking almost that entire disgusting jug of
if I had a nickel for every time I was still half drunk, like naked or in just my underwear, standing in front of the fridge at 4 a.m., lit up by the light of just the fridge, just angrily chugging shit. I mean, I do that now, even though I don't drink. Catch me at 4 a.m. at the fridge, just standing in my, my Budweiser sleep pants, taking some almond milk and just, hey, Adam, are you drunk? Nope, stone cold sober.
But yeah, I suggest apple juice. Gatorade is good. If you like really have a hangover or you get them real bad, they always say the baby Gatorade, Pedialyte, or whatever off-brand is like what they say.
I actually know someone who drinks Pedialyte when they feel sick.
Yeah, it is good in general.
And no matter how much I say it's not for babies, they still drink it. But it's pretty much just Gatorade. Yeah. It's just Gatorade for babies.
Yeah, they say that it is like one of the best things for hangovers. My whole hangover thing, like what you need to do, and I see so many people who I'll get drunk with and I'll be at their house and you just want to lay in bed all day. You got to get up. You got to get outside and get some fresh air.
You got to move.
You got to get a shower. And then, you got to get some food, which everybody has their poison. I like a good breakfast because I usually still wake up early. And
breakfast
if
is
I feel
always
shitty,
a good way to go, yeah.
Some breakfast. Just wake up, go outside, breathe some fresh air, get a shower, get you some food, get going. Don't be a bitch about it. But yeah, the best drink is probably water or Gatorade. Apple juice isn't good for you because it's sugary and gross too, but it does quench the thirst. Pepsi is terrible.
No, do not, sir. If you're listening to the show, just stop drinking Pepsi altogether.
Thank you for your submission. Don't drink Pepsi.
A good Dapper Dad preventive measure, which I would like to throw out for people, because I feel like there's some people who listen to the show and they maybe have just started getting into drinking. Maybe they're just starting because of us. I mean, like they're getting into their party life a little bit. If you drink 1 glass of water for every beer you have, you will be fine.
Yeah,
but that's something you have to remember in the night while you're drinking.
We call it taffering. John Taffer, Bar Rescue.
Yep.
He always like dwells on it because it's for like any drink. So yeah, if you drink like 1 beer, it's supposed to be 1 water. It's the same as
A
1
shot.
shot and 1 like glass of wine. I think
It's
it's 10-ounce glass.
Yeah, it's like a 10-ounce glass of wine, a 16-ounce beer, and
1 shot.
One
It's all
shot
the
is
same.
So if you're out there drinking and you're at the bars, if you can remember and aren't so drunk, start the night off. Just make it a rule for yourself. Cup of water for every drink that you take. You will not hang over. You will feel just fine. But it has to be water for every single drink that you take.
Yeah,
You just have to
which
remember
gets
that.
ridiculous once you get drunk. But
Which
yeah, if
does.
you get at least getting some water in you. What I've been doing a lot, and I think it helps, is when I know I'm gonna have like a good night of drinking.
Yeah.
So I'll just spend the whole day just drinking water up top, like a big bottle of water,
Mm-hmm.
and just get at least some water in you. Get some water in you, either before you drink, while you're drinking, or definitely after. Like I said, just get fucking water in you because it's all about being dehydrated. That's
Right.
what causes you to feel like shit.
Man, this was a good question because I have a feeling this guy doesn't know us personally, but like it's good to ask the dads for drinking tips. We've well
I've got
versed
'em.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know how this goes. So yeah, get some fucking water in you. And shout out to you for waking up drunk at 6:45 on a Friday.
I really hope you didn't have to go to work. Like I hope.
Yeah.
All I'm picturing is this guy woke up drunk, saw the phone number somewhere, and was just like, "Oh God, I need help." And just called the number, and he got
We're the
us.
people to do it.
Well, I'm glad you have so much trust in us, sir. I'm glad you can, rely on us.
I think we're
we're
steered you in
trustworthy
the right
people.
way.
We talked about killing people on the train for 20 minutes, but we're trustworthy people. I trust me.
Yeah, I'll never steal you wrong. I'll never steal you wrong because I can't get to you. And then we had another interesting submission today.
We agreed not to dwell on this too long, but we are a show. I had to convince Drama to talk about this beforehand because we are a show where we do talk about anything and everything. We don't hold back. We will take on any topic, but this is I do not want to get into the details of the last part of this.
And this is a great example of, like we said, call or text. If you call, you'll hear your voicemail if it's good, as we just played.
Right.
If you text and one of us is available, we could have a conversation because this was kind of a conversation that went crazy.
So if you want to talk to the dads, just shoot us a text at 402-732-7737, and we will be more than happy to chit-chat with you. We're approachable people.
Yeah.
We'll kill you if you eat pretzels on a train or try to give us Rolling Stone tribute tickets.
We might kill you. Yeah, approach me if I'm like, knee deep in a burger. I might fight you, but otherwise, pretty approachable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got at 8:14 this morning. I got a text on here saying, "Ask any question you want." Very open-ended. I anticipated us being asked questions.
Right.
So at first I was like, oh, well, the first thing that came to mind was for me to reply, "Tell us a secret."
Right.
Because I would like to know. If you want to send in a secret anonymously on any of the options we give you, I would love to hear your fucking secrets.
Right. And we do promise to keep your identity safe. Just because we might get it on the email doesn't mean we're going to put you on blast. Unless you like...
And yeah, if you really want to keep it super secret, if you go to the website and do the submission, you can put in a fake name, and I'm pretty sure you can put in a fake email.
Right.
You don't have to have...
No.
Yeah, because I did a test email and I just put in gibberish. So you can put in whatever the fuck you want, and then we won't have any idea who you are, and you can admit to literally anything.
I mean, you can admit to stuff, but I actually really like this next question. I don't want to harp on it too much, but I do want to talk about it.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, yeah, don't just send bullshit like I killed a guy. Like, send us like a good secret
Send us
or
proof
something.
that you killed someone if you're going to confess
Allegedly.
to us.
So yeah, I said, tell us a secret. And the response I got was, if I ever end up vacationing to places that cook dog, I'd absolutely try some. Same with any other unusual animal meat, I guess. It's kind of fucked, but no different than the consumption of other meats. Only the legitimate difference is we value dogs over typical livestock because they're cute and fluffy. Which is a very good point.
It's a very good point. And there is, like I said, I don't want to harp on this too much because I don't want to sound preachy, but there is a theological idea out there called carnism. And what carnism is, it's that as a society, we've been conditioned that it's okay to eat certain animals and not other animals. And it's really a jarring question. And the way the theory is presented to people is, picture you're at a dinner party and you just had the best beef stew of your entire life. Like, it's thick, it's hearty, it's got some good bread with it, lots of nice vegetables in it. And you are
and it's a person.
No, you've had 3 bowls and you go, God, this is the best stew I've ever had. Can I get the recipe for this? I would love to make this at home. I would love to make this for like an event. And the host,
Giraffe meat.
no, the host goes, okay, well, the secret is really in the meat. You have to get 3 pounds of premium golden retriever, and you have to marinate the golden retriever.
Oh,
and,
see.
and this is after you've eaten 3 bowls.
Yeah.
And so you have to, suddenly it hits you, oh my God, I just ate golden retriever. But why does your brain do that? You know, cows can learn different faces, and they can learn behaviors like dogs can. Pigs are very, very intelligent creatures. They can
they'll
solve
eat
puzzles.
bones.
They'll eat anything you give to them. They actually, in slaughterhouses, they clip pigs' tails off because they have the pigs crammed in there so
Yeah,
much
and they'll
that
eat
they
each
will
other.
eat each other's tails if they're just hanging
Yeah.
there. And so to prevent like infection and disease, they just snip them after they're born, which is
Yeah.
inhumane and terrible. It's like getting your dick chopped off as soon as you're born.
Yeah, which sucked. It happened to me.
I know, same. I don't have a dick.
It's getting dark.
It's getting so
That's why
dark.
life's so dark.
But like if
Calm down. God, he got so angry about not having a dick. It was weird.
But like if you take a look in like Indian culture, they won't eat cows. They hold cows sacred, but they eat a lot of chicken. If you go to France, they eat horse meat, but we wouldn't like. Do you remember the fiasco several years ago when there was like 13% horse meat in Taco Bell stuff?
Yeah,
People lost
there's
their
so
mind
much
about
shit
it.
like that.
And it's like
Which,
they're-
like, I guarantee you, you've eaten some shit.
You've eaten some
Like,
shit. If you've eaten like
literally
hot dogs,
somewhere.
if you've eaten
Yeah.
a hot pocket, if you've eaten any kind of processed meat,
Oh, yeah,
you have
hot
eaten.
pockets are disgusting.
You have eaten some anuses. Like
Yeah,
you have eaten
and that's
some.
just the light end of what you could be eating.
Well, and so it's actually, if anybody wants to do any further research into the theory, it is called carnism, and it's the idea that you have to ask yourself, why are we conditioned to eat certain animals and not others? And what about our own, like, moral compass makes us say it's okay to eat these animals, but not because obviously we wouldn't go to your house and eat Nelly, like we wouldn't barbecue Nelly, but you'll definitely make a nice meatball sub, you know?
Yeah.
So, and it's
Who
something.
knows what's in those meatballs?
And it's something that jars some people more than others. In my personal experience, it's something that I've meditated on quite a bit and have a belief system built around my own meditations. And I personally don't eat meat because of this theory. It's like, you know, I have 2 cats at home, and I love my cats. Like, people think I'm like some big scary guy, but like I go home and I'm like, who's my widow greasy grumpus?
Yeah, I've
and
seen
I
the
like
Snapchats.
yeah, like I like all my Snapchats are just my beautiful old man cat that I have at home, and I can't even begin to picture eating him. So like, why is it okay for me to like?
It's just how you were brought up. Like, that's just simply how it is. You're
Well, right,
trained,
but-
like, these are animals and these are things we eat.
Well,
It's
right,
very
but
simple.
But as a human condition, you have to ask yourself at some point, when does one life matter more than another life? You know, and that's just my personal belief system. I don't believe that my life is personally greater or lesser than anybody else or anything else that lives on this earth. But it's not to say that people have to think that way. That's my personal experience. That's my personal thoughts. If you want to go to another country and try dog, by all means, go ahead and do it.
Well, it was funny that we got this because I actually know someone who's from China, and at some point, someone I was around asked him if he had ever eaten dog.
Which is very bold to ask an Asian
it's
person
not
if
a-
they've ever eaten dog.
Yeah, it's kind of an offensive question. But then he was just very open about it, and he said he had tried it because in China, there are dogs that are bred to be eaten, as
Right.
far as he said. So it is, again, like a separate
It's a
thing.
cultural
like they have
thing.
dogs that you would have as pets, and then they have specific dogs that are raised like any sort of other meat we eat that
Right.
you eat. And I don't think it's like a huge thing.
No, I honestly don't. I don't see it as like a big shocking thing. Like you always see these things where people are like, "Shut down the dog eating," because they have like a festival every year where they like eat dog and stuff like that. And like it's, in my opinion, it's gross. It's not something that I would want to participate in. But you can't shit on another culture like that because that's how they eat.
A
you
lot
know?
of cultures do things that are strange to us, but it's just strange to us.
I mean,
just
there's-
like things we do are strange to other cultures.
Right. I
Like,
mean,
that's
like
how the
there's-
world works.
There's cultures that look at America and they can't believe that we eat some of the animals that we eat. You know, like
Yeah.
people look at America and they're like, they eat every animal there.
Yeah,
They just don't
exactly.
hold back. I mean, like
And that's what he had said. Like, it's very normal, and he said he had it, and it was discussed. Like, it's not even good quality meat,
Right,
Because it's a fucking
it's
like
dog.
stringy dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like if I was going to eat dog, I feel like it would probably be best as like stew meat. Like I had mentioned where
Now
it's
we're getting dark.
well, no, it's just something where
You know, I've thought a lot about eating dogs, and what I would do is make it into a nice stew
well, I mean, you got to think
with
like
a couple paws in it. I mean, people eat. Have you ever like some grocery stores when you look at like the meat section, you're like, oh, there's just like pig's feet are like disgusting to me. I'm like, who the fuck's eating that?
So growing up, my mom had family from the South, and one of the things they did every summer was they barbecued a raccoon on the grill every summer. They ate squirrel. My great grandma would make chicken feet for everybody, which, in case you didn't know, has very little meat on them.
Yeah, that one always boggles my
I guess
it's
the
like
way
frog legs. Like there's so much shit.
Well, see, I actually didn't mind frog legs when I tried them.
Fucking monster. Yeah, because I've eaten some interesting things. What's the when you did consume
meat
people that 1 week when you were like, I'm just gonna try it. Yeah, what's the strangest meat that you've put in your body?
It's kind of hard to say because frog was definitely interesting. To me, frog is either chicken with a fish texture or fish with a chicken texture because it has like that kind of, like, you know how like when you bite into like a chicken breast, it has like that sinewyiness to it. It's like that, but like when you bite into fish, it has that salty flavor throughout. It's a lot like that. And I honestly had fried frog's legs and I loved them. Honestly,
really?
I thought they were fantastic. The strangest meat I ever ate as a Christmas gift when I was a child, my dad got me. This should tell you all about the kind of relationship I have with my father. He got me a sampler meat pack from like some outdoor magazine, and it was 4 cans of meat that showed up at my house. Bison, not that strange. Bison's it's just like a richer red meat. Elk, same thing. It's a lot like venison, a little gamey.
A foot in a can. Child's foot. Excuse me, I don't want to get this wrong.
Baby's foot.
Take the baby foot.
Alligator.
Yeah, that's mine.
Which it's like, it tastes like chicken. It's like they say, alligator just tastes like chicken. And then rattlesnake, which was interesting because it was advertised as rattlesnake in a smoky barbecue sauce.
Of course.
But kind of like, you know how sometimes you eat certain fish and like you have to pick the bones out while you're eating the fish?
Yeah.
Apparently rattlesnake is the same principle because it was this can of meat that had barbecued rattlesnake, like pulled pork.
Bones. Dapper Dad's barbecue can of barbecue.
There was bones in it. It was like just tons of sharp little rib bones sticking out. And the worst part about this was I was like 11. I was like 11, 12 years old. I was just a kid, so like I obviously didn't know how to like cook whatever this was. And so I just took each can, dumped it into a bowl, and microwaved it within an inch of its life, and then ate it out of the bowl in one sitting. I did like bison, eat it. Elk, eat it. Alligator, eat it. Rattlesnake, eat it. Because it's like, what are you going to do? Am I just going to have the 4 cans of weird meat sitting there and be like, hey, look at my weird canned meat collection. I'm this guy. No, I'm going to fucking eat it. Like, okay, I know you collect like records and you have like some memorabilia. Is there anything weird that you collect?
Fingernails.
I collect soap. And
okay, weirder than fingernails somehow. Also, I don't collect fingernails. I thought that would gain a better reaction.
No.
But you're just like, yeah, no worries.
I saw a picture on the internet of a guy who collected his belly button lint for
that
60
was
years.
the other thing.
The jar of it.
Say.
Oh,
yeah.
it's so gross.
I come in a box and keep it.
Better than the guy that comes in the My Little Pony figurine in the jar and keeps it on his radiator. No. So I would venture out to say rattlesnake is probably the most exotic meat I've ever eaten, just because the way it was presented was so strange.
Yeah.
And all these meats that came in these cans were nuggets, except for the rattlesnake. So it was like bison nugget, elk nugget,
I just
alligator
the
nugget.
Snake in a can that you have as a kid, and you open and it springs out, but it's a live rattlesnake, and you eat it.
Oh, somebody ate all the nuts in this can and replaced them with snakes.
I had one of those cans as a kid. I bought it in front of my parents, and the packaging is so fake. It's
Where it
just
just
like
says
peanuts.
like bar nuts.
Yeah, and it looks so fake, and I kept putting it in the cupboard, hoping one day someone would just want some
Did they
peanuts.
ever?
No, because
Of course not.
It's so fake looking. The top screws off and is very apparent that it's spring loaded. It doesn't feel weighted whatsoever, and they were there when I bought it. And so I would just occasionally open it myself, like, oh, look what happened.
So very few times can I recall like really, really good memories with my dad, and one of them was as a kid, we used to go to Party City over off of Charles Street, and they had. Did you ever go there?
R.I.P. Yeah.
Yeah, R.I.P. You know how they had that spinner by the checkout of all the
Yeah.
like the gag, like they had the things that would explode in your cigarettes. We would buy shit from there all the time just to fuck with people. I had a babysitter that smoked cigarettes, and so we bought the poppers and put them in like all of her cigarettes.
Dick move.
Such a dick move.
Yeah.
If I ever catch you putting poppers in my
I'm
cigarettes,
gonna fucking do it.
oh god. But then there was one time we bought fake puke and we put it on my mom's pillow, and we like 2 Hardy Boys hit around the corner like this, and she was like, oh god, it's puke. But like she clearly knew it was fake, and she was trying to humor me as a kid. So I came in, she was like, Adam, come look at this, the cat puked on the pillow, and then grabbed my head and shoved my face in it.
Perfect.
My mom doesn't give a fuck. Like she's letting me, and then after she shoved my face in it, she picked it up and went and started slapping me with it.
That's what I wanted.
Wow. I just repressed something that made me the person I am today, getting slapped with fake puke by my mom.
The weirdest meat I've ever eaten was alligator. I think I had fried alligator bites at a restaurant.
And I've heard
I didn't
that-
really care for it, honestly. It does taste like chicken, but it has a very
It's a weird
specific
texture
taste
to it.
and
Yeah.
texture.
I've noticed that animals that tend to live in water tend to have a weird texture to
Yeah.
their musculature. Because like alligators, they just kind of float all day. They
Yeah.
don't. Well, because alligators, they're really stationary animals. They'll eat like a big meal, and sometimes they don't even eat for like a year. They just like float in the water, just like digesting shit. So
Yeah,
it's like.
so it's not going to be a great meat.
Well, I mean, you want to think it's good because like it's not moving very much, but then you realize it's just soaked in America's garbage water. So it's
Yeah.
like it's obviously not going to taste that
The
great.
restaurant I had it at also mysteriously shut down one day. So
Interesting. So it
might have
coulda-
been people.
Could have been people.
One time I asked a police officer if it was illegal to eat a person if you didn't kill the person. Because when I was like 16, it was a question I had. Not like I was going to get into it whatsoever. But I thought, like, if there's no harm, no foul, if you find a dead body, why can't you snack on it? And the cop was very off-put by my
That's
question.
a very odd question to ask. Like, okay, that would be a weird question if you asked it to me,
I know.
but to a cop is even stranger.
Well, I wanted an official answer. And he didn't have one, but he had a lot of questions.
I don't think they teach them that at the academy.
This was while I was waiting to see G-Eazy perform at Bob's Bike Shop.
Oh,
in-
this was back in the day?
Yeah, in Loves
Oh my
Park.
God.
Like 5 years ago, he performed in front of maybe 25 people out in the parking lot of a bike shop, and now he's a fucking superstar.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't ask cops if you can eat people, but again, I still don't understand what the problem is.
I mean,
it is
I'm
illegal. It is very illegal.
It is very
because
illegal to eat people.
Cannibalism is illegal. But I was a kid, and my eyes were wide, and I was full of questions.
I'm
and
sure.
don't eat people.
No, the Dapper
But
Dads.
if you've eaten people, shoot us a submission on the website.
If you've
so we don't
ever,
have your
we don't
information.
condone eating people, but if you ever have eaten people, we want to know what it tastes like.
Yeah, I'm curious. We'll eat someone after this.
Okay, sounds good.
And then the final part of that submission. Would you like to read this part?
I would love to read this part out loud because it was actually me who insisted on reading this
Yeah.
part out loud.
I asked another question. I'm going to keep it in my back pocket. I was just trying to throw some random questions out there to see what we got. The question that I asked is just a very generic question you would ask a stranger via text just
Right.
for an interesting response.
Yeah, of course.
This has nothing to do with the question I asked. This was just totally unprompted. And this was the response that we were given.
Okay, so I just can I say what your text was first?
Sure.
So, after the dog question, Drama says, fair enough. If you were stranded on an island in the middle of the ocean, what 3 items would you want to have?
Yeah, a very lighthearted.
Lighthearted.
I had no. It's like 9 a.m. I wasn't awake. I'm like, I just
Right,
was like,
you
I'll
know.
throw this out here. Interesting question.
So this person texts back, and I'm going to read this verbatim. This is no embellishment. This is word for word what
This
this
is
text
not what we
says.
condone.
We don't condone this.
Don't do this.
Don't.
We say a
do
lot
this.
of don't do this things, and we're
This
secretly
is
like,
like-
go ahead and do that.
This is
this
like
is one that we can.
you're not going to catch me under my breath going, do this. No, don't.
do this.
do
we
this.
stand firm on this subject.
When you're fucking a girl in the ass, you can reach below and punch her in the stomach, causing her asshole to clench even harder around your dick. While the grip is increased, you pull out very quickly, causing a prolapse to occur. The part of the intestine hanging out is referred to as a pink sock.
And I want to start off by saying we did
Yep.
say to send anything.
We
would
are
touch on it.
We are a show
So
that
if-
talks about anything.
If nothing else, this proves that we're willing to talk about your topics, because I was like, this is not what I was expecting to receive.
Here's the thing, buddy. If you're listening to this right now,
Yeah, you have to be.
I don't mind your dog eating question. It's something that comes up in topical conversations among adults. Topical conversation. Sometimes it gets brought up. You see Facebook articles with petitions asking to stop the dog eating
Sometimes you see
festivals.
dogs and you lick your lips.
I don't even know where to begin with this. Don't do this to people. This is
Yeah.
And there's lots of ways to have a prolapsed anus.
Yeah, sometimes it just happens.
Sometimes you can just be taking a shit and your anus will prolapse.
It's one of my biggest fears.
That you're just gonna shit out part of your intestine.
Yeah, or like a hemorrhoid, something happens.
Something's gonna burst while you're
Yeah, 'cause
on the
sometimes
throne.
I'm like, because they say like you could get a hemorrhoid from really trying to shit when you don't have to, and sometimes I'm just trying to shit, and then I'm like, oh no, don't try too hard, your anus will slip out.
See, I'm worried because of my heart condition that I'm gonna be taking a wicked shit someday and die like Elvis on the toilet and have a heart attack.
That's all I've expected.
That's my biggest fucking fear, but I hope I die on the toilet. Like, it's my biggest fear, but if it comes true, I'm not going to be mad about it. Like,
You'd just be dying like, I knew it.
So, like, if I'm sitting on the shitter and I get, like, chest pains, I'm just going to be like, well.
The best thing about that, if you're familiar with the death metal, black metal band Mayhem, and the singer killed himself, and then the other one allegedly ate some of his brains in a stew, and they took the photo and it was leaked, and it ended up becoming their bootlegged album was the picture of the singer with his head blown off.
Yeah, it was the police picture of his corpse.
Yeah. And that's what, if you die on the toilet, that's going to be the artwork for the following episode is you dead on the toilet. We're going to mayhem this, and I'm going to eat your brains.
Shake on it.
Allegedly. That guy's name was Death, and he used to lay in graves because he thought he was dead when he was born. He thought he was stillborn, but was still alive, and would bury his clothes, and got mad that the bandmates wouldn't bury him so he could be closer to death before they performed, and he would keep a dead bird in his pocket. A couple fun facts about Mayhem. Go read that Wikipedia.
There is actually a psychological condition out there where people believe that they are dead, and there's a really fantastic episode of the TV show Hannibal, if you've ever watched it, where the show is one of my favorite shows of all time, but the 3 seasons are very distinctive. Like, the first season was very like kind of like bad guy of the week cop show kind of thing, and one of the killers had a condition where it was I forget what the exact name of it is, but I'm sure I can look it up later. You just believe that you're dead. Like, you are so disassociated that you believe that you're dead. And because this person had such an extreme variation of this disorder, that it's actually one of the reasons people believe they're dead with this disorder is because it's inflammation around the lining of your brain, and it causes you to not be able to make out distinctive features and things. Yeah. And one of the first things to go is faces. And so supposedly when you have this condition, you look at people and you just see a blank slate. Like, you can't recognize.
Which is horrifying.
And in this,
the faces are gone.
Well, and
all the faces.
Can you imagine?
There goes the faces.
Can you imagine just waking up and no one has a face? What would you? Well, and then like it gets extreme. Like, you look at yourself and you don't have a face. Yeah. And what caused this particular situation in the episode was she was convinced that this girl was convinced that everyone was wearing a mask to cover up their face, and so to make herself not seem crazy, she was cutting people's faces off. She was like carving into their face.
Because every time I'm like, I don't want to seem crazy, I have to cut a face off just to not seem crazy.
Well, it's like she thought there was like a face underneath that she could get to, but she just ended up killing people. Yeah. It's a really fantastic episode. It really does shine a light on an interesting mental condition. There was one article I read about it after researching it where a guy was in a motorcycle accident and he wasn't wearing a helmet, and when he crashed he hit his head so bad that it somehow kicked this disorder into his brain, and when he woke up he still thought he was dead and he couldn't see anyone's face. So can you imagine getting into a road accident, hitting your head, waking up in a hospital, and no one has a face? Think about that. That is horrifying.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
So, how did we even get on this topic?
I don't know. You're gonna die on the toilet. That's all I talk about.
Oh yeah, because of Mayhem and like wanting to be.
Mayhem,
I think Death had that condition, but it wasn't like as extreme where like he didn't see people's faces, but he clearly felt dead. Like, it's honestly really sad if you think about it. Like, he thought he was dead since he was born. Yeah. And he spent his whole life just trying to get close to death. Like, it's like he felt that's where he belonged, you know? And it's like, it really makes an interesting creative product.
Yeah. If you want to look up Mayhem, it's
worth a listen.
Of fucking interesting shit.
Isn't that where Burzum came from too? It wasn't like Burzum. I love Burzum. Yeah. Like, that shit is so good.
They're like, one of the good ones. Mayhem wasn't very good. Only played like 6 shows.
I know.
And used to throw blood and just dead things in the crowd.
Who was there was a Mayhem, Attila Cesar. Did you ever hear him?
No, I don't
he was like Mayhem's vocalist for a little bit after
Yeah,
death
there's a
died.
lot of other things. Someone is in prison and they continue to make albums. And
Yeah,
it's a very long, drawn out thing. The Wikipedia page is great. I read it. Not
yeah.
too
Check
long
out
ago.
Mayhem if you want to check out some fucked up, interesting
Yeah.
shit. Like even like outside
That
of the
picture
music.
is gnarly.
Oh, it's
trigger warning.
Yeah, trigger warning. If you're
Fucking, if you just Google image search Mayhem, that picture just comes right up.
yeah, it's
Kind of want to get that record.
I kind of do too. We should check out Suga next time we're there. See if
Yeah, I
they have a
don't think they
bootleg.
have Mayhem.
You never know.
But yeah, are we gonna touch much more on that second part of the submission?
I think that's why I started talking about fucked up shit because I don't want to think.
Yeah,
Don't hit women.
yeah, that
Don't
clearly.
get if
Don't
I
try to prolapse an anus
if
unless
I-
it's your own. I
if
guess.
I know you and I find out that you tried to prolapse a girl's anus, I will prolapse your anus and it's not gonna be fun.
No, because how many times have you been like just perusing some pornography
And you see
a
some fucked
prolapsed
up shit.
anus pops out and you're like, that's not what I wanted.
And it's so bad because you're all worked up and ready to go, and then
Yeah.
you just see a pink
I
sock.
didn't need this. Yeah, so that's a disgusting topic. But as we said, we're here for the people, and
Listen, if you're listening to this and you send us the thing about the prolapse anus, please elaborate on why you.
or don't.
Here's the thing: I've looked online and I've seen about pink socks, and I've seen like the urban like dictionary definition and stuff like that. Nowhere have I seen an instruction to punch a woman in the stomach.
Yeah.
Nowhere have I seen
Yeah.
that. So I want to know where you got that information from. Shoot us a text. 402-732-7737 and explain yourself. We're gonna tell your mother.
And send us some submissions. Don't just try to be shocking. Give us something
Right.
to work
And I mean,
with.
like, what did you end up saying to him? You're like, this isn't my first prolapse rodeo.
Yeah, and then no response.
And
to
then
that.
no response. That's what you get for trying to gross us out.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we've seen a lot, and I don't want it to just become let's try to shock the Dapper Dad submissions.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, because
We
like,
had some good submissions last week. We had some
Right.
good submissions this week.
right. I mean, like, we do take anything. It's nice to take anything, but like, don't just try to shock us.
Yeah.
We're past the point of shock. We can't be shocked anymore. We can be disgusted,
Yeah.
but we can't be shocked.
I'm disgusted by myself every
I mean,
day,
I'm
so it doesn't
disgusted from
matter.
the second I wake up to the second I pass out at night. I don't need you to try to tell me what's disgusting. I already know.
So yeah, send us some submissions because it is nice. I really enjoyed the voicemail this week. Is my favorite. So
Yeah, definitely.
try to top that.
It was definitely a Dapper Dad voicemail, so shout out to that guy. And what did he say? Go Cubs at the end?
Yeah, he did say go Cubs. I
Yeah,
think.
go Cubbies. I know they're out of the playoffs this season, but go
Yeah.
Cubs.
Sure. I'm just stuck on that other text.
Man, I'm just so fucked up thinking about. I just hope that person like never did that to somebody. That's what I'm worried about. Is that like he did it and then he was like, oh yeah, I got to tell the dads about this.
Yeah, I don't want this to become like.
What's worse is that they have it down in such definitive detail
I
that it's
know.
like they've practiced this.
I thought I knew who it was, and
But
I
then they
don't.
started talking about anuses.
Yeah, well, that's what made me think I might know because there's someone that's like their big thing that grosses them out. It's a lot of people, but I think that's like their go-to disgusting one is
Right,
the
and
old-
it's like there's all kinds of things you can pull up on like Urban Dictionary, like a Texas volcano or like an Alabama hot pocket.
all right.
like-
Let's not put ideas in the brains. I know there's a lot of children listening to this.
Was there any other submissions or anything we got this week?
We got that other one from Matt. Did you want to read that?
Oh yeah, we
Just
should just read it out loud since it's a fantastic one. You can go ahead and read this one off. How are we doing on time?
We're at 1:35, so we can wrap it up.
I just got one other story I wanted to tell as we wrap it up. So read this. I'll tell my story.
We'll read this. There isn't much to it. I think it's again a text we received just to be
just fun.
over the top.
Yeah.
I'll do my best reading it. It's hefty. I steal your soul and cast lightning level 1 million. Your body explodes into a fine bloody mist because you are only a level 2 druid. Robots are trying to drill my brain, but the lightning shield inflicts DOA attack, leaving the robots as flaming piles of metal. King Arthur congratulates me for destroying Dr. Robotnik's evil army of robot socialist Republicans. The Cold War ends. Reagan steals my accomplishments and makes like it was 'cause of him.
Here's the thing.
I fell off at the end there.
Here's the thing. I would love to know which edition of Dungeons and Dragons you're playing because I don't remember this, and I don't remember Reagan or robots in any of the core rules book. Maybe it's Pathfinder, and they've just changed a lot of shit. I have no idea.
I like that someone finally beat Dr. Robotnik because I spent
Years
my whole childhood.
trying to kill that
And
bastard.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2, final stage, when you fight, this is going to get real deep.
Nope.
I've got a lot going
I
on.
know exactly what you're talking about.
When you ascend into space and you as Sonic have to fight Metal Sonic, and then he runs into the other room, and Dr. Robotnik jumps into the giant Dr. Robotnik,
Yep.
and his arms fly off. How the fuck do you beat that?
I don't know, man.
Nothing has made me so angry. And I've played it as an adult fairly recently.
Still can't beat it.
What the fuck?
No, that's one of those weird things, but like back when video games were like hard on
Yeah,
purpose because it was supposed to
so
be a
hard.
challenge. But like, man, I miss those old platformers like
I know.
that. Though.
I fucking love Sonic.
Like I love a good modern video game. I actually just picked up Wolfenstein 2 comes out next week, and I love their marketing campaign thus far because it's been so anti-Nazi that it warms my heart. But I picked up it was Wolfenstein, New World Order, and Old Blood for like $13 today. 2 games. I'm gonna play the shit out of these because if it's one thing the Dapper Dads condone, it's fucking killing Nazis. You just beat their asses. If you are a Nazi, come fight us right here on the show. We'll put it live on the air.
In the dungeon.
If you're a Nazi, I invite you to come on the show so you can get your ass handed to you. We'll prolapse your anus, buddy. Don't condone it, but I'll make it happen to a Nazi.
Just for you. What was your story?
So the story I just wanted to tell, for people who are listening to the show that don't have a good visual on me, I am someone who stands out a bit in a crowd. I have tattoos. I have stretched ears. I used to have a lot more piercings. I have blue hair. I look very colorful. There at work we sell phones and we sell a service called Consumer Cellular. Fuck Consumer Cellular.
All right.
Fuck them, because all they do is they just send old people to the store, and all they do is want us to fix their phones and transfer their contacts over, and it takes forever to set up, and it's bullshit.
Oh, I'm familiar.
This guy came in and he was getting a phone set up, and he was very loud. He was older and he was talking very loud. And he goes, "Wow, you're an interesting looking guy." And I was like,
Perfect start.
A perfect start. That's always a great way to get me off on a good way in a conversation.
It's a perfect way to get me off is talk about how interesting Slim looks.
That's the only thing that gets drama off these days. You got to talk about how interesting I look. And then he's just like, "Oh, yeah."
She's like, is it working? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe
What's Slim wearing
maybe
today?
talk a little bit about how Slim's looking. Blue hair. Oh.
And so then this guy looks at me and he goes, "I train people to take headshots from 600 feet away with a pistol for the FBI for 40 years. And I'm like, well,
I wish you gave me a headshot right now.
well, and it's like,
At first, I like to think that they take nice photographs from 600 feet away. Like I took a beautiful headshot of you from very far away, and now you can use it to jumpstart your acting career.
I would love to do that. And so he was explaining to me how he worked for the FBI, and he wasn't like working for the FBI, but he was like training people to like use guns and like shoot and stuff like that. Basically training cops is what it boiled down to. He was training cops to shoot. And I
love my favorite thing about people who work for the FBI is how much they're fucking lying to your face.
Right. And so he talking very loudly this whole time, like loud enough so like everybody in the vicinity can hear, points his old ass finger in my face and goes, "You are 35 times more likely to be shot dead on sight by police because of your jewelry and your tattoos." And I was like, because if it's one thing I love when old ass people come up to me and tell me how I'm going to die.
How likely you are to be shot.
How
by
likely
police.
to be shot by cops. And I said, "Do go on. Why? Do tell. Why, Mr. Expert?" And he says it's because he would train people in the academy because cops are trained apparently when they point their gun at you and tell you to freeze. If you do not put your hands up and freeze, they are trained to shoot at that exact moment. So if you have like a cell phone in your hand, a lighter in your hand, anything.
Oh yeah, it's almost like cops are constantly killing unarmed civilians.
It's almost
children.
like cops are being trained to kill unarmed people. Everyone. It's like they're firing their guns in the sky at God.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like there's been news stories about these type of things.
And so and here's the thing. I understand that I look different. It attracts stares. It attracts comments. It is what it is. It doesn't really faze me. What phases me is when you tell me how I'm going to get shot by police because of how I look. So he ends his little conversation with, "If I was you, buddy, get those things out of your ears, get them snipped, and wear long sleeves everywhere you go, because it'd be a damn shame if you got shot by the police." And I said, "Sir, And I shook his hand. I said, I would like to thank you for training white cops for 40 years to shoot people like me. I really appreciate it. And then I walked away. And I hope that guy reevaluates his entire fucking life because of it.
Yeah, you probably only solidified the fact that he's like, people like that should be shot by cops.
I mean, I'm worried he's going to come in and shoot me. And then he's going to have to get prolapsed.
He doesn't have the balls to do it. That's
No.
why he makes his fucking army of blue badge bitches.
He'll send his army of blue-blooded bastards to come kill me. We're just here at the studio.
yeah.
They're just gonna come knock and be like, freeze.
They shoot you and they're like, sorry about that.
And he told me this specific disgusting story about how when he first got out on the field, there was a guy in Chicago that 2 cops unloaded 39 rounds into because he was in a doorway, and when they shot him through the heart, he slumped up against the doorway and didn't fall down, and so they thought he was still standing and unloaded 39 rounds into this guy. And the biggest thing about that is, how can you sit there and be like, yeah, I trained people to do that?
Yeah.
That's like the guy.
I believe that might have been Sean Bell.
That's like finding the guy who trained like the end of the world machine to go around and stomp everyone in the skull and then being like, that was me. I'm the guy who made that.
Yeah, I believe that might have been Sean Bell, and I don't know if that was in Chicago or New York. I feel bad not having the story. But that man was going to be married the next day and had been out with friends and got to his door, and the police yelled freeze, and he turned around because they didn't say police freeze. He didn't know what it was.
Right. It was
so
just
when
someone
they turned around, they
freeze.
unloaded several clips into him and murdered him the day before he was going to get married, and he was an upstanding citizen that did nothing wrong. And this shit is fucking ridiculous.
Call me Ice Cube, because fuck the police.
Fuck the police. God, shit like that makes me so angry. It's so fucked in this world. There's so many bad things in this world, but it's insane that this shit doesn't stop happening.
No.
And people are like, well, you know,
This is just society.
Fucking Blue Lives Matter. Stand with police.
Fuck you if you say Blue Lives Matter.
It's a very stressful job. I will not take anything from that. But if you can't handle it, then don't
do it.
Do it.
And the problem is, I feel like they don't screen enough for these
because you can go be a
psych-
cop tomorrow.
Literally.
It doesn't take shit anymore. And even in cities like Rockford, they're just asking for people to be cops because no one wants to be a cop because it is that stressful. And you can't let normal human beings, the average person, have that much power.
Right.
That is the only thing where someone can end your life in a moment's notice and get off with it.
Yeah.
Because they have the power, and they're always going to side with the cops because that's
Always.
the
It's
fucking
the
government.
law.
Yeah, you got to listen to them. And there's been countless kids murdered, people murdered for nothing, for holding cell phones, for fucking selling cigarettes, for fucking buying
For guys
Skittles.
walking around Walmart with Nerf guns, for fuck's sake.
It makes me so fucking angry.
I don't even want to get on this for too long because we're
Yeah,
already
I
like
don't
at
either.
time.
This is a very sensitive
Just
topic.
sample in some fuck the police right here for me.
We're going to sample in a lot of shit. Yeah, fucking just don't take jobs that you can't handle. That's with anything. And don't take them when you can fucking... I get it. It's
Don't
scary.
take a job that you can't handle where you're given a gun.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Like, if you feel like you are not enough of a person to deal with, like, stress of crazy human beings with the power of having a loaded firearm, maybe you should, like, work at Taco Bell or something and deal with the stress of that place.
Is it worth it? Like, there's fucking crazy people that you are going to encounter that would probably scar you and stick with you. And you never know if you walk up to a car, what is going to be the outcome of that.
Right, exactly.
That's everyone's fucking argument. I get that 110%.
No, and
I have respect for the good cops that do it because we do need cops. Otherwise, the world would be crazy.
Right.
But there's too many fucked up cops. You have too much power. There's too many cover-ups. They want to support each other so much.
And that's the fucking problem is that they always have each other's backs.
They stick together.
And I would be more, and there's some fantastic police officers out there. There is some fantastic.
I've never met one, but
I've never met one.
I know.
But I hear
I'm not
stories.
one of those people.
There's actually a fantastic cop on Instagram. I'll have to look up what his handle is, but he believes in what's called community policing, which is an idea I 100%
which is how the
behind.
police department originated. Is it was people from your neighborhood that knew you and knew what's going on, and people you could look at and identify. It's not someone who just gets dropped in a bad area that's crime ridden and doesn't know what they're doing and is so scared. I've had specific incidences with people that I've been around interacting with cops where the cops have been blatantly racist, blatantly huge fucking pieces of shit.
Because they can.
I had a moment, I don't want to get into it, but I have one story that I always say that fucking sticks with me. One of my best friends is a tall black man, And we were downtown Rockford one time, and he was trying to go to the ATM. They're having some stupid festival around Kryptonite when it was open. Topical. And we were trying to go through to the ATM, which was literally down the street, and there's a fence. So he stopped and asked a cop if he could go to the ATM. We could see it from where we were. There was just a fence. And as he's asking the cop this question, he's in, and it doesn't matter either way, but just for the story, he's in like a fucking pink sweater with like a hat on, very nice looking,
normal ass attire.
And it doesn't matter what you're wearing.
No.
And as he's talking to the cop calls back up while we're just standing there.
Why?
And so then these two other cops come over, and
like, how goddamn racist do you have to be that that a black person can ask you to use an ATM and you need backup for that situation?
And when he starts calling for backup, my friend proceeds to pull out his ID. And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, this is how it is. Which I'm aware that there's racism, and I'm aware that there's racist cops, obviously. And this was years ago, and I had never seen anything like it.
Right.
So the two cops come over, and they just start fucking going off. Like, what are you doing? What do you need? And he's like, I just need to get to the ATM. I was wondering if I could go through or if I need to go around. And they're like, you think you can fucking go through a fence? What are you, retarded? All this shit.
Like,
and then
why?
they're like, there's an ATM in District. Fuck District, for one.
No, yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, I was trying to just buy drinks at this point, but I also had a card. The ATM in Kryptonite was broken. So like, go in District, and I turned to my other friend who was with us, and I was like, oh, I got to go in District, but I'm wearing a hat, and they won't let me. And the cop overhears me, and he's like, can you fucking take your hat off? That they won't let you in there if you're wearing a hat.
We're
and that's
aware.
good for them. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like, well, fucking take your hat off. Is it that hard? And at this point, I'm like, all right, I'll fucking go in there. And then I was like, do you know where the ATM is? To my friend, I've never had been in District. And the cop goes, yeah, it's 3 letters, fucking ATM. How stupid can you be?
Like,
you
why?
Put your fucking card, and he's just screaming at me.
Like, why?
And then my buddy, who was initially fucking profiled and treated like shit, is like, do you really have to do that? And I'm like, let's just fucking, and the cop is just screaming at us. I tried to go to District. Their ATM's broken. So I have to go across the street to the bank. And then I have to pay again to get into the festival. And then later I see the cops just hitting on girls, drunk girls outside.
Yeah, fucking pigs.
And I'm like, you fucking worthless pieces of shit. So to anyone that wants to pretend that we live in a nice world where there isn't racism like that, that is one of the most insane things I've ever witnessed.
Pull your goddamn rose-colored glasses off your face and see the shit that's in front of your eyes.
It makes me like shake because I'm so
It's so
angry.
Ridiculous.
And to ask to use an ATM, and like the guy just barely even heard words come out of his mouth and called for backup.
Yeah.
For what? Fucking, it makes me so crazy.
Oh, God.
So yeah, we do always get deep at the end.
We do always get deep at the end. I feel like if people
wouldn't be an episode without getting all riled up at the end.
I love getting fucking riled up and going home after this.
Yeah.
I love staying up till 3 a.m. grinding my teeth because of rage.
So yeah, the rest of it was fun. I enjoyed this episode. Good episode 12.
Fantastic episode 12.
Keep sending us those submissions. We'll get to them again. thedapperdads.com. You can submit completely anonymous there. Just put in a fake name, fake email. Send us whatever you want. dapperdadspodcast@gmail.com if you prefer that, or the good old phone number. Voicemails we will play. Text messages we might just chit chat with you for a bit. That's 402-732-7737. So yeah, get at us. Again, leave us some 5-star reviews. Grab someone's phone, leave a review from their phone.
Take their phone, subscribe to our podcast using their app, and then give us 5 stars.
Yep, tell all your friends. If you leave reviews, we'll shout you out. We'll shout out the people who have already left reviews in the next episode.
Yep.
I think we've touched on them before. Facebook reviews are cool too. That doesn't really help us a ton.
It doesn't help, but it's good for the page.
iTunes will help us like get in their charts and get this fucking going so we can keep it going. If you watch it on YouTube, I guess comment and throw a thumbs up. It can't hurt.
Yeah.
But iTunes is where it's at. Tell all your friends. We fucking love you.
We fucking love
Thanks
you.
for being here.
Thank you for your support. As always, I know we harp a lot about the phone and everything like that and support, but we really, honest to God, we get so much good feedback every episode, every week. It's like we get more people checking this out.
And also, I forgot to mention it earlier, we did get some other voicemails, but they were complete silence.
Yes.
2 of them seemed like people who probably just saw the number and called it and then realized what it was and hung up.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one that was about 1.5 minutes, which I feel like would indicate a message, but it was literally complete silence. And we got the new voicemail that we played in this episode, so it's working. So I'm not sure if you left something or meant to leave something and you didn't hear it on this episode. We did not get it. Just go ahead and give us another voicemail.
Yeah, shoot us
Maybe
a text.
get your phone checked.
shoot us a text. Let us know what's going on. We would love to have your content featured on the show.
Yep. So get at us, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Stay dapper, everybody.
Bitches.